All right, people. For all things Minnesota, you've come to the wrong place. Okay. So we've been covering a lot of Minnesota stuff. We've been covering ICE. We've been covering Tim Walz. And by the way, I got Tim Walz fatigue up the butt. And yeah. Give me one moment. I'm going to put an emoji on the board. My brony brothers. My Gooner brony brothers. What's going on, dude? Can you believe it? We're at 7.4K subs and counting. And it's all thanks to you guys. You guys are incredible. You guys are keeping this show alive. Thank you so much, my brony brothers. Let's keep going. We're going to react to some videos here in a little bit. Here in just a second, to be honest. I'm going to probably have to take a quick pisser. But we're going to get the... Brunies.
Texas was feeling walk out with confidence.
Nome must resign.
Oh yeah, Ilhan Omar. She's so annoying.
Or face impeachment.
I saw the video. It does not look consistent with someone trying to assault another person. I think this was staged. Shut up, Brian!
It probably was staged. I mean, not gonna lie, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for having doubts. And I think a lot of people on the internet are looking at the footage of what happened with Ilhan Omar. And the dude, it felt so set up. It felt deliberately set up. It was pretty funny though, but let's keep watching.
You can't tell me to shut up.
Law enforcement.
By the way, the first video that we're going to be reacting to is a Piers Morgan Uncensored episode. It's titled Pussies Shot Him Dead. ICE debate featuring Tim Miller, Brian Tyler Cohen, Jonathan Fahey? I don't know.
Works for us. They don't get to push down women.
I know the emasculated males are up in arms.
Is that what happened?
10 times. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I'm gonna shoot my bullet. Those are the masculine men? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The masculine guy was the guy standing up for the woman, doing what...
This guy is a total tool, by the way. Out of all the tools to ever exist, that guy is the biggest tool of them all. Total tool. Like, I cannot express how much I think that guy is a total tool and a total nutbag. Welcome, my brony brothers. We're here. We're live. We're ready to roll. Now, you're probably wondering, how do we get here? Why are we here? And you don't want to know. You don't want to know, my brony brother. But we made it this far, and we're doing it. We're doing it live. F it, we're doing it live. And this guy, by the way, this guy's a woke guy. It's pretty obvious he's woke. Let's keep watching.
Men should do.
Guys
A bunch of
stupid.
pussies shot him dead.
So I do believe that ICE should not have lethal weapons, only because anytime somebody gets shot and killed, these people become a martyr for the left, and we never stop hearing about them. We just never stop hearing about them. So the best way to avoid that is to give these people non-lethal weapons, the ICE agents, heavy stun non-lethal weapons. That way, they don't create any more martyrs like Alex Pretti and Renee Good. I'm still not justifying the shooting though of what's his nuts, Alex Pretti. I'm not justifying that. I refuse to justify that. Alex Pretti was murdered for sure. I do believe that most ICE agents should just have non-lethal weaponry, rubber bullet guns, stun weapons of any kind to protect themselves. I think that'd probably be the best way to do it.
The biggest dividing line in politics and in culture is no longer right.
What up,
or
Chill
left.
Corner,
It's a lot
my
to
brony
do
brother? What up,
with
dude?
Basic trust. Do you believe this person is honest? Are they authentic? Are they telling the truth? That's why podcasters like Joe Rogan have displaced the corporate media, and why politicians like Bernie Sanders are among the most popular in America, whether you agree with their politics or not.
It's because when you listen to Bernie Sanders speak and when you listen to Joe Rogan speak, I'm not a Bernie fan, but I do believe that Bernie Sanders, for example, is authentic. Not only does he sound authentic, I really do think he believes what he believes. Now, do I think what Bernie Sanders believes is stupid? Sure. But I do believe that he means what he believes, and he's not doing it. He doesn't have like a weird underlying agenda. You know what I mean? I still think that communism and socialism are ridiculous ideas, and I think they belong in the Stone Ages. But yeah, Joe Rogan, for example, Bernie Sanders, Joe Rogan, they feel like they're very authentic. You feel like they're curious, and they want to get to the bottom of the truth. They actually want to understand what's going on. So, whether you agree with those guys or not, it doesn't really matter. The reason that they're doing better, the reason that like Joe Rogan's doing better than CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News is because Joe Rogan's interviewing people in long form, unedited. He's not editing anything out, unless it absolutely needs to be edited out. Other than that, though, it's an uncensored podcast, man. But yeah, Bernie Sanders is a moron. I do believe he's a moron, but I do believe he's authentic, though, is what I'm saying. You could be a moron and still be authentic. Yeah, you could still be a moron and be authentic. Bernie Sanders is a moron and he's authentic. I think Joe Rogan's actually a pretty intelligent guy. And I think he's authentic, You could be a dumbass and still be authentic is what I'm trying to say. Let's keep watching.
After the past few weeks, it's hard to see how some key figures in the Trump administration can ever be trusted again, having chosen scripted gaslighting over honesty at a moment of genuine crisis.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted...
It does feel like they may have been... Well, I mean, they kind of are reading from a script in some sense. They're trying to read the information. So, yeah, did they say it the same way, the same time? Sure. And that is pretty sketch. I'll admit that. That's a little sketch. It's a little weird. It sounds like they're being told to say something, And it feels like it's not coming from them directly. Here's the thing. Communism and socialism are both rooted in the same thing. It's called collectivism. Now, while communism and socialism are two different things, communism is actually a worse form of socialism. Communism expects the state to own the means of productions, essentially, to run the means of productions more than anything, in which government can't run anything. That's why communist nations fail, because they rely on the central government to do everything, because that's stupid as hell. Socialism, overall, socialism is another form of collectivism. Like I said, communism and socialism are both rooted in collectivism overall. But with socialism, it's basically, it's definitely another form of, it's where basically it's redistribution of wealth, essentially, enforced at gunpoint in a lot of ways, where the government essentially enforces it in a lot of ways. So, yeah, redistribution of wealth is so fucking stupid. Yeah, redistribution of wealth is probably the dumbest idea that's ever been created by man. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. On paper, it seems like it might be a good idea, but in practice, it's been proven time and time again to be ineffective because there's no incentive to do better, and everybody's basically at the same level. And by the same level, I mean everybody's in poverty. No, we're not a democracy at the federal level, Sook. We are a constitutional representative republic. We are actually in no means, way, shape, or form an actual democracy. We are a constitutional republic, bro. Thank you, Sook. I appreciate you, my brony brother. Let's keep going. Make sure you guys tap the like button if you can, and also tap the subscribe button. We need more subscribers. More subscribers we get, the better. It really does help the channel grow in many ways.
To disarm this individual,
to disarm the individual,
but the armed suspect
but he
reacted
violently resisted.
fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers.
An agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately.
Delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Well, anybody who'd seen the footage of Alex Pretti's shooting knew it just didn't stack up. And the same can be said about many...
Oh, and yeah, I believe Alex Pretti was murdered. I absolutely believe that Alex Pretti was murdered, unfortunately. And it's sad. I really... does that mean abolish ICE? No. If anything, just make it to where ICE doesn't have any lethal weaponry. Just don't give them any lethal weapons. Give them stun weapons. I'm telling you, rubber bullet guns. I would rather take a chance with rubber bullet guns than anything else. So rubber bullet guns, tasers. What other random thing can I think of? Bear mace, anything.
The arguments put forward to effectively justify his death. This was one of the most popular.
And by the way, I think you could be pro-ICE, and you can also condemn what that agent did to Alex Pretti. Both can be true. I believe ICE is totally necessary in Minnesota, and if anything, after seeing what I've seen with all the riots that are happening in Minnesota, I firmly believe that ICE needs to increase their presence in Minnesota. In fact, I think you should increase it 2 to 3 times. More ICE, the better. We need more ICE.
Number one,
I need more ice for my drink.
the Second Amendment is a right. I'm not a Second Amendment absolutist. You have the right to carry a weapon to defend yourself, not the privilege. It is a right. Those rights come with restrictions. I think you would understand that more than anyone at this table. One of those restrictions is you have to have your ID and your permit on you. We don't know. Current reports are he didn't have either one of those on, at which point he's not carrying legally.
Fine, that's all true.
Yeah, he wouldn't be carrying. Yeah, that wouldn't be a legal carry. Because if he doesn't have his concealed permit on him, then because don't you have to have that on you? As far as I know, you have to have your concealed permit on you if you're doing that. As far as I know. Anyway, I am a Second Amendment guy, by the way, and I still don't think that I still do not believe that Alex Pretti should have been shot in the back. I felt like it was just messed up as hell.
But we know that he did have a permit for his gun, and the law says he has to show it when requested to do so. Where in the footage did any of the officers stop to ask him for his paperwork? And why was...
Well, I don't think they knew that he had it on him, because it's a concealed carry, right? So if he has a concealed carry permit, obviously they're not going to know if he has it on him, if he has the gun on him. So how can you ask for paperwork for a concealed carried weapon when you don't know if he has it on him?
Kyle Rittenhouse a hero for not using his common sense, but Alex Pretti caused his own death by not using his common sense. The only thing Pretti was brandishing was his iPhone, which has also become an unlikely source of contention.
Hello, my name is...
Show you something. Does that look like a gun? I think it does a little bit.
I mean, to some degree, he's making an interesting point. Okay, hold on. Let me see that too. Hold on. Okay, I can kind of see that. I'm not trying to make up too many excuses for the ICE officer, though. I'm not trying to. In fact, if anything, I am still more curious than anything what was going on through the ICE officers' heads when that situation occurred. And by the way, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button if you're done with the woke agenda. I have Tim Walz fatigue. And if you have Tim Walz fatigue like I do, if you're just tired of Minnesota, tired of Tim Walz, please subscribe to the channel. Please tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It really does help the channel grow, because I think we're all apparently just tired of Minnesota. We're done with the woke agenda. We're just done with it, man. We're tired of the woke agenda. Let's roll. Come on. Come on. Can you feel it? But yeah, I think a lot of us are just done with the wokeness. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy place, man. But yeah, tap the subscribe button if you're tired of the woke agenda, you're tired of Tim Walz, you're tired of hearing about Minnesota all the frickin' time. You're just like, I'm done. I've got Minnesota fatigue. So please tap the subscribe button if you got Minnesota fatigue, just like I do.
It's a phone. It's black, like
Let's go.
Most phones. That's crazy stuff.
Well, crazy stuff is correct. Many people were justifiably furious with Biden officials and liberal media personalities who repeatedly told them to disbelieve their lying eyes, not least about Biden's own health. They were also furious about the idea that angry white conservatives...
And yeah, I was pissed. I was pissed because it was pretty damn obvious that Biden had some form of dementia or some sort of major, major health issue that kept him mentally stagnant. You know what I mean? And one of the things I firmly believe, and I really, really believe this, by the way, I believe that, I feel like the liberal mainstream media concealed Biden's true health status from everybody. I feel like they really, really concealed it. To a point where I felt like it was so evident. That's what I believe. It's what I feel. And yeah, I think we get a little bit tired. We get a little bit tired of being told what to do by wokes. We don't want to be told what to do by the woke people anymore.
were domestic terrorists and the single greatest threat to America. Most of those people voted for President Trump because they were sick of it. They didn't give us...
If you guys, by the way, if you guys voted for Trump, thank you. But yeah, if you guys love Trump and you voted for Trump, tap the subscribe button. We love Trump on this channel. We're pro-ICE as well, but we love Trump. We voted for Trump on this channel. If you voted for Trump, I hope you guys tap the subscribe button because we're all Trump sexuals on this channel.
It forces a mandate.
Let's go, baby.
To repeat the exact same playbook. Well, joining me to discuss all this is Tim Miller, the commentator with The Bulwark, Jonathan Fahey, he's the former acting ICE director, Brandon Tatum, a.k.a. the Officer Tatum, and Brian Tyler Cohen, host of No Lie.
Oh, isn't Brian Tyler Cohen? I think this guy's like a total massive libtard. This guy is totally woke. This guy's like super duper woke, by the way. I think he might even be more woke than David Pacman's. I think he might be even more woke than David Pacman's.
Right, so welcome to all of you. Tim Miller, it seems to me it's been a very significant 48 hours, actually, for Donald Trump, for his administration, for the wider public, and for this issue of trust and being able to believe...
Oh, we got to give a shout-out. Hold on, before we watch any further. Thank you, OPA Enterprise Kevin, for subscribing. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put your name back up on the board here.
Laugh out loud.
Thank you so much, OPA Enterprise Kevin. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. My Bruni brother, you're the man. Yeah, I voted for Trump all 3 times, too. I voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. I hope you guys tap the subscribe button. You know, we love Trump on this channel. I want Vance 2028, straight up. I want J.D. Vance in 2028 to be the president. So I hope you guys tap the subscribe button if you guys love Vance as much as I do. Let's roll.
What we see with our own eyes, because if you listen to what these administration officials were saying in the immediate aftermath of this killing, then this guy Alex Pretti was about to launch a massacre of law enforcement officers, when we could all see from the various clips that were coming out that simply wasn't true. He was defending a woman protester who'd been thrown on the floor. He was then thrown on the floor himself. Yes, he had a weapon on him, but at no stage did he brandish that weapon or represent.
Dude, J.D. Vance is not an idiot. Why are you guys saying that J.D. Vance is a moron? That makes zero sense, dude. J.D. Vance is a well-spoken dude. Honestly, a pretty intelligent dude, if anything. He's honestly... Dude, seriously. Now, I'm a J.D. Vance fan, man. I want Vance in my pants, bro. I want Vance in my pants, baby. I want Walz to stay away from my balls, and I want Vance in my pants. Let's go.
Any threat to the 8 ICE officers that engulfed him, and in fact they took away his gun and then they killed him. So given that we could all see that, I think what's happened here, which has been really pretty unprecedented and quite fascinating to watch, is that Donald Trump has realized this has crossed a line many people may not have thought Donald Trump was aware of or cared about. And that line being, if you try and tell people that what they've just seen with their own eyes is not true, they're not going to buy it. Trust in you is going to erode, and your polling numbers are going to get slayed.
Yeah, and I do feel, by the way, I hate this smug guy right here. This guy's so smug and annoying. And also this guy's pretty smug and annoying. Anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is this. I think that the main thing, and guys like this make the liberal movement look really bad because he's a soy boy. That's a soy boy, like huge soy. Huge soy. I don't know.
And ultimately, it will cost you at the ballot box. What's your reading of it?
Well, I hope you're right, Piers. I hope that Donald Trump changes course. I think we've seen some very minor evidence of that, replacing Greg Bovino with Tom Homan. For me, I would have preferred that all of the ICE and CBP agents be removed from Minneapolis immediately and then taken off the streets and brought back to D.C.
Why does everybody keep saying abolish ICE? Why would we abolish ICE? Tell me that. What is the purpose of abolishing ICE? What would that purpose be? I don't understand what that... Why would you guys abolish ICE? Tell me. Huh? What would be the point of that? What would be the point of abolishing ICE? So are you telling me that we shouldn't have any immigration enforcement? So if we abolish ICE completely, that means we have nobody... First off, illegal immigration is a real problem in this country because people like Biden, people like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris allowed the borders to be open and allowed everybody in, whoever they wanted. And it was so ridiculous. The problem is Joe Biden messed up big time. And people were pissed. People were so pissed. That's why they voted for Trump. If you guys are perplexed why people voted for Trump, it's because Joe Biden allowed the border to be open. He allowed tons of it was just terrible, man. So Joe Biden is like legitimately one of the worst presidents of all time. Joe Biden is legitimately the worst president of all time. And by the way, if you guys agree with me that Joe Biden is the worst president ever, tap the subscribe button. If you guys believe that Trump is the best president ever, well, maybe Abe Lincoln number 1, maybe Trump number 2. But if you guys think that Trump is like one of the GOATs, one of the greatest of all time's presidents, please tap the subscribe button because we love Trump on this channel. I think he's the greatest president of all time, actually. You know what? Move over Abe Lincoln. Maybe Abe Lincoln's number 2. Maybe 3 is George Washington. But I say Donald Trump is the greatest president of all time. And also tap the subscribe button if you can. But yeah, I've got Democrat fatigue, dude. I have Democrat fatigue. I have Democrat fraud fatigue because of all the fraud that's happening with Democrats. Yeah, I voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. I'm proud of it. I think Trump has actually been very good for this country, especially economically. And by the way, I am fully on board with the tariffs. I am fully on board with the increased tariffs. And if you guys don't understand tariffs, that's your fault, because increasing tariffs isn't such a bad thing. Because we have a debt that we need to pay, and we have a problem. Our federal government's way too big, and I am totally happy to see the debt dwindle. The debt is going to dwindle under Trump. Just you wait. My man has a vision. My man has a vision. Give me a moment. $104.62. Damn, gold is going up. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Whether Trump is in office or whether Biden was in office, it doesn't matter because I've been very successful. You want to know why? Because I really don't. At the end of the day, I don't really give two shits about politics. But I do like Trump, and I believe that Trump is the greatest president we've ever had. And two, it doesn't really matter what president we have. I'm able to succeed because I'm very intelligent with my money. I understand asset allocation, and I understand how to make things work for myself. And the thing is, I'm fine. At the end of the day, I will always be fine as long as America still remains the land of the free and where I still have freedom of speech and things of that nature. I feel like things would be worse. I think things would be worse under Democrat rule, to be honest. I believe I think things would be worse under Democrat rule. But Trump is the greatest president of all time. I don't care what anybody thinks. Trump is the GOAT. Thank you, PH, for subscribing. I really appreciate it. We're currently sitting pretty at 7,400 subs and counting. We're still going up. This is crazy. I'm going to put PH's name back up on the field, on the board. I really appreciate it, my brony. We're currently sitting pretty at 7,439 subs. I can't believe it. We're almost to 7,500 subscribers. So if you guys can, tap the subscribe button. If you're tired of the woke agenda, tap the subscribe button. If you want to help this channel grow, tap the subscribe button. We need you. And also, Trump is the man.
Or to the border where they're supposed to be. Minneapolis is famously 300 miles from a border.
He's the greatest.
Then they could reassess what.
When I say Trump is the GOAT, I mean Trump is the greatest of all time. GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time. So Trump is the greatest of all time. He's the greatest president ever.
Would look like where they actually went after the worst of the worst rather than menacing American citizens and menacing people who are here legally. And I do agree with you that the American people overwhelmingly do not.
I think a lot of people agree with me, man. I think look, if you guys love Trump as much as I do, please tap the subscribe button. Let's go.
Want and do not support a government that murders its own citizens in the street, that unloads.
Dude, I will always. Are you kidding me, Kanjo? I always ignore the chat. Kanjo4976. I usually ignore the chat until I get a super chat. If I get a super chat, then I will acknowledge. I acknowledge $2 or more super chats. I don't acknowledge the regular chats as much. I try to. I really do. But we were laughing when you liberals voted Biden, when you liberals voted Joe Biden in, just like unsupervised too said, we were laughing at you. We were like, dude, the world was laughing at us when we had incompetent Joe Biden. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? Come on, brony. Come on, man. Crazy. Freaking crazy. Yeah, this is wild. Let's go, dude. Let's go.
Loads a clip and shoots them 10 times.
Dude, did you just say the economy was a lot better with Biden? Are you blind? The economy was much worse under Biden. Are you kidding me? Are you joking with me, man? Things were so much worse under Biden. It's insane. Look, things were terrible under Biden. The border was open. Inflation was higher than hell. I think you have to be high as hell to think that Biden was a good president.
Fires 6 bullets into their dead body on the ground and then lies about them and smears them after they're dead. I think that the vast majority of Americans don't want that. You'll probably be able to find a couple of shills to come on and defend that on this show, but I think the vast majority of Americans say, no, we do not want murderous.
This guy is such a chode. Whenever I see a guy like this, people like this guy, people like this gentleman right here. Well, maybe he's a lady, I don't know. This they them right here. This they them right here creates more Trump voters than anybody. It is these they them woke people like this guy that create tons and tons of Trump voters, because we're so annoyed by these woke people that we would rather vote Trump than anything that these woke people are telling us to vote for.
Our fellow Americans. And so I do
if you guys
think
want to know psychology,
that is showing up in the polls. I think you're seeing Donald Trump's numbers erode massively, particularly among Hispanics, but also among young men, the libertarian types, the folks that really believed the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, the folks that really believed in the First Amendment, which protects free speech, which protects taping people in your community if you want to, as well as the Second Amendment.
No, we're laughing at you Democrats. We're laughing at the Democrats more than anything. And by the way, I'm still a Trump supporter. I think what happened to Alex Pretti, I think he got murdered. I think he was murdered by that agent, and I think that agent needs to face jail time. But what happened to Alex Pretti was unforgivable, terrible. ICE does not need to be abolished, though. I think ICE needs heavy stun weapons for sure. And I think you need to increase the number of ICE officers in Minnesota. That's what I believe.
This protects your ability to carry a weapon. So the young men that flock...
'Cause I believe that ICE is the answer, and I believe that ICE will find the way, and I believe that ICE is the answer, and I believe that ICE will find the way, and ICE will find the way.
To Trump, I think, thinking that he was going to be a free speech president, are now seeing the truth, and I do think it's hurting him with them as well.
And by the way, ICE is not the Gestapo. You know, all of this would have been prevented if Tim Walz and Jacob Frey kept calling ICE the Gestapo. That was the main problem here. Oregon is cooked because we have Tina freaking Kotek, who is a terrible, terrible governor. She is one of the worst. You know, I don't know if we were to have a shit off, if we were to have an shitification off between Tim Walz and Tina Kotek, I don't know who the worst. I think we all know that Tim Walz is clearly the worst governor because of all the fraud he allowed, allegedly, and also basically gaslighting everybody, and also saying that ICE is the Gestapo didn't help anybody, because when you start telling your citizens in your state that ICE is the Gestapo, what does that tell them? That means that they think that they could do whatever they want to ICE with no repercussions. These people think if they see ICE, that means they can be like Batman and they get stuff. But here's the thing. They're still these ICE agents are still federal officers. So if you attack them, agitate them, do all that shitty stuff to them, they have the right to arrest you. You could go to jail. Seriously, you can go to jail. So the problem here, a lot of these Minnesotans are out of their freaking mind. You know, it's just crazy. It's wild, dude.
Yeah, Officer Tatum, welcome back to Uncensored. I mean, the really frustrating thing for Donald Trump must be that a large part of his immigration policy has been extremely successful and well received. And I'm talking specifically about the basic closure of the southern border. You know, after...
Oh, yeah, dude. By the way, this is one of the reasons that we voted Trump in, is because we wanted the southern border to be closed. We were tired of allowing people just to come in freely. We were tired of it. We're done with it. In fact, if anything, I'm glad that people aren't wanting to come over. That's perfect. I don't think, but by the way, there are some countries that we just shouldn't allow to come over. I'm not going to name which countries, but I think you know which countries I'm talking about. Turd world is what I'm really implying. And there's just certain countries that have such crappy cultures that we should just not allow any of their citizens to come here. That's what I believe, wholeheartedly. Until the culture gets better in that country, we shouldn't allow any people from crappy cultures to come here.
Years of Biden allowing millions of people to come in illegally, Trump has stopped it. That's a great win for his administration.
Before we continue on, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button. If you guys are big Trump fans like I am, tap the subscribe button. If you guys are excited, by the way, for Turning Point USA is coming to Coos Bay, and I'm extremely excited about it. So if you guys are excited like I am about Turning Point USA coming to Coos Bay, I'm going to be down there tomorrow at the event. It's going to be really fun to watch. I can't remember all the speakers that are going to be there, but I think like Steve Bannon's daughter, for instance, is going to be there. But yeah, no, it's really exciting. There's going to be a protest, obviously, because I'm on the left coast, and and I'll be down there at the protest, not to protest the event, but to counter protest the protesters. I'm going to be making fun of the protesters. I'm going to be mocking the protesters. I'm going to be basically. I'll probably, most likely, I'm going to be live streaming the protesters being annoying. But there's a lot of, yeah.
Is something most Americans agree with.
But yeah, if you guys love Turning Point USA like I do, if you guys love Trump, Turning Point USA, if you love JD Vance, if you guys are pro ICE, tap the subscribe button because you found the right place to hang out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let's keep on watching, man. Let's keep on rolling. Why would you say that, Dylan? And this is why I always say the violence seems to come more from the left than the right. I'll say that. The woke left seems to be highly violent and highly annoying. By the way, I have woke derangement syndrome. I'm tired of woke people. Woke people piss me off. If you guys have woke fatigue, if you guys are fatigued by woke people and Tim Walz, tap the subscribe button. We definitely need more subscribers, but we're tired of the woke agenda, and we're here to expose the woke agenda for the rot that it is, the brain rot.
And yet here he is now getting quite negative polling about his immigration policies. And I think it's all come down to this issue of how the ICE agents are behaving in these rural areas and these back-to-back shootings, deadly shootings, of protesters.
Well, it's because of mindless people like the gentleman that just finished speaking.
Laugh out loud.
Is the reason why people have this perception that Donald Trump is somehow doing something.
Hey, thank you, Dylan McCoy. I appreciate the subscribe. I'm gonna put your name back up on the screen. Thank you so much for subscribing, my brony. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm tired of the wokes. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're just done with woke culture. If you're just tired of all the woke people, just tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're just done with woke culture. We're done with these white liberal Karens that always want to make us feel guilty about one thing or another because they're woke and they're guilty and they're boring and they're annoying. We're done with the woke. We're done with woke. The world of woke, we are done with it. We have woke exhaustion. We have woke fatigue. We got woke fatigue, man.
Something wrong. They deported 600,000 people. They've deported people who have committed murder, rape, all kinds of dangerous and felonious crimes. Also, they're deployed in all 50 states. Why is Minnesota the only state that's having issues? And then to get on TV and say that a guy is observing the First Amendment and Second Amendment while he's at a protest assaulting ICE agents, Border Patrol agents. He committed an assault, a felonious assault against the ICE agent. That's how he got into a physical altercation while carrying a firearm without notifying
What was the assault?
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with Officer Tatum on this one.
Laugh out loud.
Frog Eat Frog sent happy poop yum yums, dude. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum, and happy poop yum yum. 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 Happy poop yum yum.
Laugh out loud.
And by the way, Frog Eat Frog has been a member for 4 frickin' months, by the way. Frog Eat Frog, I love you, my brony brother. Thank you so much for those happy poop yum yums. Thank you for renewing your membership. This is Frog Eat Frog, formerly Dog Eat Dog, who's jumping on in. Let's go, Frog Eat Frog, my boy, dude. And can we do I'm going to do the happy poop song. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. All right, dude. All right, let's roll. Oh, I feel so good, just like I knew I would. Dude, hey, you guys, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button if you want to help the channel grow. Hey, look, we love Trump, just like you guys do. I know everybody in the chat loves Trump, and if you guys love Trump, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. If you love ICE, subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
When the border
Brandon,
patrol
what was the
pushed
assault?
lady, when the border patrol pushed the lady, he went hands on. That is a felony. You cannot do
He
that.
didn't
And
assault
you carry a
anyone. But
firearm.
Brandon, here's
Frog
is that
Eat
not a
Frog
felony
with the
crime?
muscles. He's
Well,
showing
when
the
you
muscle
say what
arms.
is
Hell
a
yeah, dude.
felony crime,
Frog Eat
Brandon,
Frog, my
when you
boy,
say-
dude.
when
Hell
you-
yeah.
Hang on, let me finish.
People have
When
lost
you
their
say-
damn mind.
what
Exactly,
you
dude.
witnessed
Exactly.
when you say what you witnessed was an assault by Alex Pretti on ICE officers, that is not what I witnessed.
By the way, Alex Pretti, if you guys look at other videos, there are videos from previous days where Pretti was actually harassing ICE officers. He was out there harassing ICE officers. Not the day that he got shot. He might have been actually the day he got shot. Who knows? But supposedly, Alex Pretti there was a video where he kicked out a taillight that I saw. I don't know how real that one is, and we're gonna have to analyze that to make sure that it's not AI by any means. But there was a video that I saw, and I don't know how real it is, and where it looked like he was kicking out a taillight. It looked like he was actually kicking out the taillight of a car. So it was kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy. But yeah, I love Officer Tatum, dude. I think that guy's the man. Officer Tatum's the tits. I think he's here's the thing. Alex Pretti, by the way, Alex Pretti was murdered, and I believe that justice does need to be served for the fact that he got murdered by that agent. I will agree with that. At the same time, though, Alex Pretti, just like Renee Good, was not a saint. Alex Pretti was harassing ICE agents previously, even before all this, and there's just a lot of evidence to show that out there that has been boiling up to the surface. So I'm not a big fan of what Alex Pretti did. I'm not a fan. I do believe that Alex Pretti was very woke and an ICE agitator, but I believe that shooting a man in the back is wrong, and he was shot in the back and he was murdered, and I do believe that the ICE officer who shot him needs to go to jail. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. But yeah, Officer Tatum is really on to something there, and I believe that he's totally correct on that one. And thank you, by the way, for the happy poop yum yum, Frog Eat Frog, and thank you for becoming a member again. The more members we have, the better. Anybody who has subscribed, by the way, if you can, become a member as well. So feel free to become a channel member. We really need more channel members. So anybody who wants to become a channel member, I will greatly encourage it. And It helps the channel grow, and it helps fund the channel.
Piers, do you because you don't live in America, you've never done law enforcement, you don't understand the law. And with all due
I've got
respect,
a home in America. I've lived in America and off for 20 years.
But I'm saying you are not vested in American law enforcement. When you grab somebody like Pretti did with an ICE agent, that is an assault, subject to an arrest. They had every right to take him down to the ground. He had a gun on him knowingly. Came with multiple magazines.
But you should agree with that.
What? I don't
Piers,
agree with that.
Look, I was defamed there.
Well, hang on. Hang on. Let me finish.
A Border Patrol agent.
Yeah, I will come back. Brandon,
if you
I have
want to
spent
peacefully
20
protest,
years.
you can carry a gun.
Brandon,
you can't assault
I have spent
and
20.
get into a conflict.
Fine.
Yeah, it is interesting because I will say that Alex Pretti, I think he was agitating officers quite a bit. Obviously, the only footage we really see is him holding his phone up to the officers and stuff like that, and the officers pushing him back. I don't know what happened, what led up to that event, what led up to the ICE officers pushing him. I'm not sure, to be honest. But it's one of those situations where, I don't know. It's a very interesting situation. Now, granted, I still believe Alex Pretti was murdered. I think ICE should still be allowed to be in Minnesota. In fact, if anything, I say double the coverage of agents. I think, if, for example, if there's 1,000 ICE agents in Minnesota currently right now, if that's the case, I say make it 2,000 ICE agents in Minnesota. ICE needs to be in Minnesota completely, 100%. In fact, double, triple the amount of ICE agents that you have currently in there.
Spent 20 years working and living in America, a lot of the year, right? So I know America very well. I've covered a lot of these stories over the years, for CNN, for others, for Fox, for others, everyone, right? So you don't have to slightly patronize me with "you're not from these parts."
I'm not patronizing. I'm just telling you the truth because
I have a home.
I've owned.
Hang on, Brandon. Let me finish. I've owned a home in Los Angeles for 16 years. Okay, so I do understand.
Okay, okay, so you owned a home in Los Angeles for 16 years, Piers. I'm kind of curious where Piers is going with this.
And how law enforcement works in America. I understand what the law is, right? I understand all of these things. But I look at what happens.
I think Piers sort of does, but I also think Piers Morgan is a lot like I am. I think Piers Morgan is aware of how annoying he is. Like, for example, I'm aware of how annoying I am, and I play into it completely. I'm aware of how annoying I am and how hated I can be by a lot of people. So I play into that by being authentically me, but I dial up who I am to a channel of 10 or 11, so that way people can get more upset with me. But yeah, Piers Morgan, it basically does the same thing that I do, except for he has more employees than I do, and he has a fancier setup going on. I'm just a reactor. I just like to react to videos and stuff. I really do enjoy reacting to videos, though. It's kind of an addicting thing because it prevents me from being on my smartphone, and I get to be on my computer and do this. So it's a lot more fun. Yeah, Frog Eat Frog said it best. Maybe while tensions are high, don't mess around with them or expect to be taken down. Exactly. Frog Eat Frog is right on the money.
Immediately you say that if you take a gun to a protest, but that's exactly what I've heard.
No, when you fight people when you fight
hang on, Brandon.
While having
I haven't finished my question. For 20 years, I've battled with the NRA and with the conservative right about this issue of guns in America. And I eventually concluded this is an issue for Americans to resolve amongst yourselves. I respect that. It's your country, your culture, your laws, your guns. However, there is a blazing hypocrisy in this narrative that's been spewed about Alex Pretti that somehow one of the problems here was...
but if you guys can, though, please tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. It really does help the channel grow in multiple ways. It helps my wiener feel bigger than it really is because my wiener is really tiny. So please make sure you guys tap the subscribe button so that way I can pretend like my wiener is bigger than it really is because I have a tiny schlong. Let's keep going.
He was carrying a gun. He was carrying it legally.
No, the problem is not carrying a gun.
Under his Second Amendment rights.
You've worked hard as a small business owner.
Here's the thing. If you have a gun and you're going to an event like that, if you're going to basically a protest or a riot, that sort of thing, it's pretty messed up. You just shouldn't be doing that, man.
Before history is made, every detail is chosen. From Amazon MGM Studios comes Melania. This new film takes you inside the 20 days leading up to the 2025 presidential inauguration through the eyes of the First Lady herself, where fashion isn't
Hell
just
yeah,
style,
dude.
it's strategy. Witness the image-defining decisions made behind closed doors, a celebration of duty and glamour. Melania, only in theaters, January 30.
The problem is not carrying a gun. The problem is getting into a physical altercation with intentionally and premeditated.
And that's the thing. I will say this about Alex Pretti. I think he knew what he was doing. I think he knew he was I really do think he was agitating the ICE officers for sure. And at the end of the day, man, like, Alex Pretti would still be alive if he just stayed on the sidewalk and stayed away from the investigations that were happening. Instead, Alex Pretti is out there basically calling, in a lot of ways, treating ICE agents like they're the Gestapo, which they're not, by the way. You know, I think Tim Walz and Jacob Frey have a lot of blood on their hands right now because they were the ones who were basically calling ICE the Gestapo, essentially brainwashing their constituents into believing that ICE is not a federal agency. They're basically they were trying to convince the citizens that ICE was the Gestapo. That's the biggest problem here. And when you brainwash your citizens to think that a federal agency is the Gestapo, that's where it gets really, really bad. And that's why ICE agents have been treated like absolute trash by everybody in Minnesota. All these woke people in Minnesota is because guys like Tim Walz and Jacob Frey are making things worse. They're just making things worse. So, no, I you know what? At the end of the day, was Alex Pretti a victim? I think first off, yes, he was a victim. Yes, he was murdered. Absolutely, 100%. I do believe Alex Pretti was murdered. And I'm going to tell you this, man. I'm going to tell you this heads up. There's a lot of video that's resurfacing now that's coming up where it shows that Alex Pretti was not the saint that you guys think he was, okay? But having said that, though, while Alex Pretti was not a saint, or any of us really saints, I do believe that Alex Pretti was murdered. I believe he was murdered in cold blood by that agent. And I believe that agent needs to spend the rest of his life in jail for shooting a man in the back like that. There was no reason. Alex Pretti was on his hands and knees. And, you know, as much as I think that ICE should be allowed in Minnesota and they should still be able to do their investigations in Minnesota, but I do believe when it comes to lethal weaponry, I will admit that ICE is proven to be a little too trigger happy. So because they're so trigger happy, I say load them with heavy stun weapons. We're talking rubber bullet guns, taser guns. We're talking, if you want to do flash grenades, fine. Flash grenades are acceptable. If you want to do bear mace, fine. Whatever. As long as they have a means to defend themselves. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that rubber bullets are non-lethal. They can be lethal. Absolutely. Rubber bullets can absolutely be lethal. But there's less of a chance of a person dying with a rubber bullet gun. You know? And I believe that these officers need to have projectile weaponry. That is non-lethal projectile weaponry. Non-lethal projectile weaponry. That is my point. That is my case that I'm trying to make here. I do see that my boy Nate Dogg sent a happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, yum yum. Thank you for the happy poop, Nate Dogg. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button. If you guys love Officer Tatum, tap the subscribe button. If you are tired of woke assholes like this guy and woke assholes like this guy, tap the subscribe button if you're tired of them. But if you love Officer Tatum, which I think this guy's pretty dope, tap the subscribe button. Let's go.
Meditated a physical altercation with ICE agents. I would never, I carry a gun everywhere I go. I got my gun on me right now. I would never confront or get in a physical altercation with any law enforcement with a gun on me. You learn that in CCW class.
I mean, Officer Tatum does have a point that if you're going to get into an altercation with some sort of officer, whether it's local or federal, and you have a gun on you, yikes, yeah. Especially if you're agitating and trying to interfere with what the officers are doing. If you are by the way, if you're attacking an ICE agent, that is still a federal agency, by the way. That is still a federal agency. I want to make that fucking clear. For example, I'm not a big fan of the FBI, but if I saw an FBI investigation, I wouldn't go in and try and agitate the officers. I wouldn't go in and try to interfere with the FBI's investigation. The FBI and the FBI and ICE are still federal agencies. You interfere with them, they have every right to kind of do whatever the fuck they want to you, unfortunately. And I know that people see ICE as the Gestapo, but they're still a federal agency. It really is common fucking sense, but we don't live in a. By the way, the sad part about common sense is it's not common. So I guess you could call it rare sense these days because nobody has the rare sense to know this stuff. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it should be obvious to everybody, but I guess it's not. I mean, to me, if I see a federal agent of any kind, whether I agree with the organization or not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the FBI. I really think the FBI is stupid for the most part, but I'm not going to go and interfere with what the FBI is doing. You know what I mean? So the thing is, Minnesotans have made things worse for themselves. And if I was Trump, if I were in Trump's shoes right now, you know what I would do? I would send twice as many ICE agents to Minnesota because it's clear that there are problems in Minnesota, probably a lot of illegal immigrants, to be honest, that need to be deported. And I would say send more ICE agents to prove a point. Seriously, send more ICE agents to prove a point. That we're not going to, because you see the thing is, if you give these liberals an inch, they will take a mile. And the liberals in Minnesota are too fucking crazy for their own good. That's my belief. That is truly my belief. And like I said, I'm not even the biggest, by the way, I'm not even the biggest fan of ICE, but at this point, the woke liberals have made things so much worse in their state. They're rioting, they're vandalizing, they're just making everything like crap. That if I was Trump, I would send in as many ICE agents as possible into Minnesota. Minnesota would be the primary place to send ICE, in my opinion. That would be what I would do if I was in Donald Trump's shoes. But obviously I'm not. Yeah, so hopefully Trump watches my show. And it would be awesome if Trump actually watched my show. It started making executive decisions based on my show. That'd be so cool. I would be so happy. I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Without a doubt, bro. So Trump, I'm asking you, man, I hope you watch my show, and I hope you base all your policies off of my ideas.
And as a person with common sense, because what happens? Things get twisted up. You have the gun get exposed. They yell, gun, gun, gun. He's reaching for his waistband. They think he has a gun. All of that is going to be justification under the law because the perception of the Border Patrol agent that believed that he was armed and dangerous at the time that he fired the shots is going to be justification.
They took his
I'll
gun
put money on
away.
it for anybody on this panel.
Now, yes, I will agree with Piers on this one. They did take the gun away. They did disarm him. So I will say that once they disarmed Alex Pretti, there was zero reason to shoot him. I really believe that. There was no reason after that. They basically shot the man in the back. They shot the man in the back, unfortunately. And no, this is one of those situations where the ICE agent, well, I don't know if it was, I think it was either Border Patrol or ICE, one or the other. It was one of those agents. And the problem here that I see more than anything is how do I say it? And here's the thing. Yes, cops get very jumpy with guns. You're absolutely correct. Okay. And this is why I think you got to give cops stun weapons. I say give cops stun weaponry. By the way, I am very pro ICE. I want to make it very clear. I don't want to hide anything from you guys. I am pro ICE, but I'm very much so pro ICE having stun weaponry. That is the key. I want them to have. I'm not a leftist, by the way. I'm pro ICE. I just believe that ICE at this point just needs to have stun weapons, heavy stun weapons, non-lethal, and that's it. Yeah, there was a video that I saw of Pretti kicking taillights. Yes, I saw that one as well. So yeah, Pretti was not a saint. In fact, you could also argue that he was an ICE agitator and he was following ICE as well. Absolutely. And so I'm not a big fan of what Pretti was doing before the day he got killed. Now, by the way, even though I don't agree with Alex Pretti and I think that he was a crazy woke person, sure, I think Alex Pretti was absolutely a deranged woke person. But at the same time, just because you're a deranged woke person doesn't mean you deserve to get murdered. No. I'm very saddened that he got shot. He got shot, he got killed, and do I believe that he had something to do with it? Sure. You know, it takes two to tango. It does take two to tango or more. And at the same time, what I'm trying to say is that Alex Pretti was murdered, and I do believe the ICE agent that shot Alex Pretti deserves to go to jail for life. That's all I got to say. Major General Tao, what's going on, my brony brother? He says, how about a cage match? 10 Wokies versus one ICE agent. That would be an interesting match. Okay. I might be all on board with that, actually. That would be a very hot match. Major General Tao is saying the guy put himself in a very bad situation, bro. Absolutely. No, I agree with that. No, I do believe that the ICE officer who shot Pretti in the back deserves to go to jail. Absolutely. Here's the thing. Once Alex Pretti was disarmed, there was zero reason. There was zero reason at that point to even start shooting. No reason. The gun should not have been. They should not have shot him. He should not have shot him. It was wrong. It was wrong, and I think you know it, man. Dude, the gun. First off, by the way, there's plenty of video evidence to show that Alex Pretti was disarmed by someone. And once he was disarmed, you know what that means? That means he has no ability to shoot back. At that point, even though Alex Pretti was resisting arrest to some degree, he was murdered. Alex was murdered unjustly. And I do believe that the agent deserves to go to jail. I absolutely believe that. And like I said, normally I'm all about ICE, and I'm still pro ICE, but we gotta call a spade a spade. We gotta call a spade a spade. Alex Pretti was murdered in cold blood. It doesn't mean demolish ICE. No. There's no reason to demolish ICE. I'm still pro-ICE, and I think they need more ICE agents now more than ever in Minnesota, but I think they all need to have heavy stun weapons. That's all. I don't want them to have no lethal weapons. And by the way, this is a very... the solution that I'm offering, if you guys really look in your heart of hearts, the solution I'm offering is a very reasonable one. Seriously, the solution I'm offering is a very reasonable one. Because I'm tired. I don't like seeing people die. I really don't. I want to see more non-lethal weaponry. So I think if there was more non-lethal weaponry, I think this would solve a lot of the problems. That's all. So I think heavy stun weapons. I think heavy stun weapons would be the best thing to do. But yeah, Alex Pretti was murdered in cold blood. I believe that wholeheartedly. Please make sure you guys tap the subscribe button if you want to. Look, I'm pro-ICE. If you guys are pro-ICE, tap the subscribe button.
Laugh out
if you guys
loud.
are pro-Trump, tap the subscribe button.
How dumb are you to bring a loaded firearm? I think it's 100% Agent walks free. It's just martyrs for a stupid cause. Zero sympathy here.
And I see where you're coming from, Major General Tao. I'm gonna highlight your super chat here real quick. No, and I look, I see where you're coming from, man. I do. I'm trying to think about this real quick. I'm gonna reply to this too. I'm gonna tap the reply button here because I really do appreciate it, man. I think it was foolish of Alex to bring a loaded firearm to a crazy protest, I should say a crazy riot, where officers were being harassed. There we go. I was able to send it real quick. Sorry about that, you guys. Let me trying to get my hair down here a little bit. Here we go. No, it was definitely a riot, though. I think what was happening down in Minneapolis was not a riot, was not a protest. It was a riot for sure. I really do believe that it was a riot, straight up. But I think you guys see where I'm coming from with all this, right? And thank you to everybody who subscribed, by the way. We've had so many subscribers to the channel. But if you guys are, like I said, if you guys are pro-ICE, tap the subscribe button. If you guys are pro-Trump, tap the subscribe button. If you guys are tired of the woke agenda, tap the subscribe button. We're done with the woke agenda. So we're here to expose it for what it is. We're here to expose the woke people for what they are. And I'm happy to do it. So tap the subscribe button if you have woke fatigue, if you have Tim Walz fatigue, subscribe. All of the above. Please subscribe to the channel. We need more subscribers anyway. We got to stick it to the woke people. We got to stick it to them wokies. Let's go.
Just like
they took his gun away. We literally see them take his gun off him. And then they kill him.
That doesn't mean that the Border Patrol agent who shot him saw the gun being removed, Pierce. That is a part of the investigation.
Brandon, please. We've listened to this enough. For starters, your whole spin is crazy. This idea that you started your thing by saying this was justified because the Border Patrol agent came and pushed a woman to the...
I still, look, as much as I love Officer Tatum on this one, I love Officer Tatum, I still don't justify the shooting in the back. Pretti was already on the ground. Alex Pretti was already on the ground. There was no reason. There was no justifiable reason to shoot him. And I've watched the video. Like I said, I think Alex, by the way, put himself in harm's way. And these guys, these rioters have to be aware that sometimes ICE gets trigger happy. I'm not justifying what ICE did. I'm just saying that if Alex Pretti was using his brain that day, unfortunately he wasn't, all this could have been avoided. Alex Pretti would still be alive today. First off, he would be alive today if that officer didn't shoot him in the back. But Alex would also have more of a chance. He would have had more of a chance at survival if he would have just stayed out of ICE's way. It's as simple as that. And all these ICE officers just keep getting harassed and harassed and harassed. Like, at a certain point, it gets old. And, you know, in a lot of ways, I actually kind of feel bad. I feel kind of bad for a lot of the ICE agents. I really do. Because they have to deal with this garbage all day long in a juicy man thong. Tim Smith, dude, we got my boy Tim Smith in the house. Hell yeah. Tim Smith is saying the cop said he's got a gun. The gun goes off. They shoot. He had attacked an ICE SUV a few days before smashed the lights. Yep, I saw that video, by the way. And assaulted ICE another time where he injured his ribs. So, yeah, the thing about Alex Pretti is he was already kind of a threat in a lot of ways, a bit of a predatorial force. And, look, this guy was not a saint. I want to say this right now. Alex Pretti was definitely a crazy woke person. I do believe that, and by the way, Tim Smith, thank you for bringing those details to light. I kind of forgot about some of those details. But, like, he was a crazy woke person. I am going to say that, man. I'm going to say that. I don't, look, deep down, I don't think he was a bad person. I just think he was a lunatic. I think he was just a crazy woke person. At the end of the day, he was just a crazy woke person, and that's all I'm going to say. You know, I don't think he was a bad person. I think he was, he was a pretty smart person. You know, you could be a smart person and believe in stupid things. It does happen. You could be a smart person who believes and gets caught up in stupid ideas and stupid communities and things like that. So I'm not disrespecting. I want to say this right now. I am not disrespecting Alex Pretti. In fact, if anything, I'm commending him. I'm actually commending him for being a nurse. I'm commending him for being in the medical field to begin with. But he became too much of a social justice warrior for his own good. That's all. But I still believe that there was no reason to shoot him while he was on the ground. I just felt like it just feels like a bad move. The more I watch the footage, the worse it feels. Tim Smith says, just got back from hockey, drinking chest beer, and is there a StreamYard? So we're not doing StreamYard tonight. So this is, we're doing this from Streamlabs. We're doing this from Streamlabs. However, Tim, if you want, I'm trying to think how I can get you on the show. Because we're doing this straight up from Streamlabs, not StreamYard. StreamYard is a lot easier when it comes to getting a guest on. What I could do, let me think about what I can do here. I'm trying to think of a solution where I could get Tim Smith on the show. Tim, would you be willing to call in? I was going to say, Tim, if you called into the show, that actually might work out. In fact, if you did call into the show, I can go on another time. Okay. But yeah, I know this whole situation's so crazy, man. And like, not gonna lie, I've definitely got my opinion of it. And by the way, I'm not a big fan of Alex Pretti. I do believe he was a crazy woke person at the end of the day. And the more I learn about Alex Pretti, the more I don't really like the person he was. But at the same time, Tim Smith says, you got 356 watching. Keep it going. No, dude, Tim, I want to say this, man. Tim Smith, you've been a big part of this show. And you know what? I always love having... You know, I know that Tim Smith and we don't always agree on everything, but that's the best part about Tim is I really enjoy talking to Tim Smith about stuff. I'm trying to think of a way to get Tim on here, though. And I think I have an idea. Maybe through Zoom. We could do Zoom, but that would be a pre-recorded thing. Do you guys have any ideas on how I can get Tim Smith on the show? Like, I'm trying to think of a way to get Tim on the show through Streamlabs. Tim Smith says I'm going to go watch a Vietnamese girl react to the movie Dodgeball. Nah, Tim Smith is the man, though. I just want to give it, like I said, I want to give a big shout out to Tim Smith. He's been incredible. Just having him, you know, he's a big part of the show. He adds a unique voice. This is why I love Tim, dude. I'm a Tim Smith fan, dude. He's the GOAT. The Canadian Wonder Man. And hell yeah, dude, get that hockey stuff on, man. Get that hockey on. Give me a few seconds, folks. Oh, I realized. Hold on. I got to adjust something here. Yeah, so let's take a look here. Thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel, by the way. I really appreciate everybody who's taken the time to tap the subscribe button, though. It really does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. So if you guys love Donald Trump like I do, tap the subscribe button. If you love JD Vance 2028, please subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to us. Let's keep watching this Piers Morgan debate with all these people.
The ground. Why are Border Patrol agents... Excuse me, sir. Let me continue. Why are Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis nowhere...
See, this liberal guy sucks. This crazy woke liberal guy is terrible.
Near the border, pushing American citizen women to the ground. Brandon, shut up for a second.
Understand how law works. They have jurisdiction to enforce immigration law within the boundaries of the city.
Yeah,
what the heck are you talking about?
Was she an immigrant? Was she an illegal immigrant?
Who?
They push an American citizen to the ground. We have rights, Brandon.
She is
the entire Minneapolis police force.
Do you not understand law?
Shut up, Brian.
Oh my God, this woke guy is so... Do you hear him just say, shut... Dude, see, this is why we don't like woke people. The guy that just said, shut up, Brandon, or whatever. I love Officer Tatum, dude, and how dare this woke maniac disrespect Officer Tatum?
Brandon, whatever your name is, the entire Minneapolis police force shot 0 bullets all year last year.
Bro, I'm a grown
0
man.
bullets.
You want a problem with me?
Law enforcement works for
Okay,
us.
so I thought.
They don't get to shoot American citizens
They
10
can stop
times
you
and shoot
from
6
obstructing an
bullets into our
investigation.
dead body.
Yeah, and by the way, like whether people want to admit it or not, ICE is still a federal agency. So... Tim Smith says, tired, let's go, Brandon. Wired, shut up, Brandon. That's a good one. I got to screen cap that or something. That's awesome. There are some things I got to screen cap more often, dude. This is great. Dude, I know that guy was such a rude... The guy that was yelling at Officer Tatum, saying, shut up, Brandon. What the fuck, dude? This woke bastard... This woke asshole right now, I think Piers Morgan, if you have any balls, put this woke motherfucker in his place for being a piece of shit.
They don't get to push down women. They work for us. They represent us. We pay them. They need to use restraint and de-escalate. Okay, they are here there to serve and protect.
Time out.
By the way, it's still a federal agency. I'm not a bootlicker. Stop calling me a bootlicker, okay? I don't know what is up with you guys. All you liberals in the chat keep calling me a bootlicker. You guys were bootlickers to Biden. So if you guys are going to call me a bootlicker to Trump, I guess I'll take that as a compliment. But you guys need to admit that you guys were bootlickers to Biden, okay? You guys were bootlickers to Biden, and you're woke as hell. You're all a bunch of woke pansy asses. Let's go.
Us, not to
Time
push
out.
women
Let me bring
forward,
it.
not to shoot guys in the back of the head.
Stop calling me a bootlicker.
Shooting their
Stop
rights,
it.
and they got murdered. And you're on here to
Stop calling me a bootlicker, okay? Stop it. Be nice. Quit calling me a bootlicker, dude. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Stop with the bootlicking stuff. Okay? No more bootlicking. Stop calling me a dude, stop calling me a bootlicker. Stop calling me.
Okay, let me
like a ghoul.
All right.
Like a depraved
Okay,
ghoul.
hang on.
He's dead.
Time out, please. Time out, please. I want to bring in Jonathan Fay because you're a former actor.
By the way, we're almost to 7,500 subscribers. And, yeah. Give me a few moments. I'm pretty excited about this. We're almost there. I can't believe we're almost to 7,500, by the way. 7,500 and growing, dude. This is wild. Why does it? You guys got to stop calling me a bootlicker, please. Please stop. Stop calling me a bootlicker, dude. Stop it.
ICE director. But first, I want to play a clip from Donald Trump about the gun part of this.
That being said, you can't have
I am curious to see what Trump says, though, here.
guns. You can't walk in with guns.
What about the Second Amendment?
Listen, you can't walk in with guns. You can't do that. But it's just a very unfortunate incident.
Do you agree with the assessment from some of your own officials that Alex Pretti is a domestic terrorist or an assassin?
Well, I haven't heard that, but certainly he shouldn't have been carrying a gun. But I don't like that he had a gun. I don't like that he had 2 fully loaded magazines. That's a lot of bad stuff. And despite that, I say that's a very unfortunate.
Nearly home. Who done it?
Now, the thing is, Jonathan Fay, I've repeatedly heard Donald Trump say he's the biggest Second Amendment guy in America, right? How does that square with what he's saying there?
Okay, you guys, I keep seeing you guys say bootlicker. Okay. I am not a licker of the boots. Oh my God, stop you. Nate Dogg says, oh my God, stop you guys. Ooh, 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 I'm not a bootlicker, okay? Ooh, 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 I am not a bootlicker. Ooh, I am not a bootlicker. Ooh. Bong Sloth just sent a 676767 for 67 joules, 67 joules. Bong Sloth sent a 676767 6767 OMG. Everybody keeps calling me a bootlicker, and I keep getting 6-7 gifts, dude. Tim Smith says licking boots equals views. Do it now. The drive. You know what? You know what, Tim Smith? You're absolutely correct. I don't know if I actually have any boots at the moment, but you guys keep saying I'm a bootlicker, right? So you guys keep claiming that I'm some kind of bootlicker. Okay? You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lick some boot. I'm going to bring in a boot. Hold on. Now, this is one of my girlfriend's boots. Okay? Now, my girlfriend
Laugh out loud.
has one of her boots.
Alex Pretti broke the
she's
law.
got 2 boots in the closet.
Need to carry ID with
obviously,
CC.
I'm going to pull out a boot. Okay? Okay, hold on. Let's read this super chat real quick. George Zimmerman 2 says Alex Pretti broke the law. Need to carry. You do technically need if you have a gun on you and you have to have the concealed carry permit on you. Actually, that's very true. Now, since everybody keeps calling me a bootlicker, Since everybody keeps calling me a bootlicker, I want to fulfill your guys' sick sexual fantasies, because you guys are disgusting individuals who keep calling me a bootlicker. And yeah, so I brought out my girlfriend's boot. Okay, I brought out my girlfriend's boot. Okay. I'm a bootlicker. I'm a bootlicker. Yeah, so you guys can keep calling me bootlickers all day long in a juicy man thong, okay? Keep calling me whatever you want to call me, bro. Thank you, though, for the super chat, my brony brother. I do appreciate that. We're going to keep that up for a little bit. But, yeah. All day long. I'm a Look at this. You guys keep calling me a bootlicker. I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would you claim I am? Bootlicker. You guys keep calling me a bootlicker, so I guess I gotta be a bootlicker. All right, I'm going to eat some candy in front of you guys. All right, let's see. Did I get any more super chats? Did I get any super duper chats? Here we go. Thank you guys for tuning in, though. Let's since everybody keeps calling me a bootlicker. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to take a quick piss before we continue to react to Piers Morgan. I'm going to eat candy. I'm going to eat lots of candy. And then we're going to react to the rest of these Piers Morgan clips. So, we're ready. 'Cause I'm ready. Okay. Here we go. What if I'm wrong and you were right all along? So get this, I'll put you on my wish list. I'll draw a star right by your name. You're always in the top drawer. And I won't be a loner anymore, 'cause it's never always the same. So get this. So I'm going to the Turning Point USA event tomorrow. The Turning Point USA event is going to be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. At the Egyptian Theater. I'm pretty stoked about it, man. There's going to be a protest obviously going on beforehand, so I'm going to live stream the protesters. The doors open at 6. The event officially starts at 7, but I'm going to be there to kind of, I might interview the protesters, but then again, I might just mock the whole thing by singing about Joe Biden. And I think what I'm going to do is I look pretty woke. So since I look super duper woke and I look like a soy boy, I am going to go down there and act like a soy boy. But I'm going to rap about my love of Joe Biden. I'm also going to rap about Tim Walz. Be like, I love Tim Walz. I love Tim Walz. It's true. I'm super gay. Hey, hey, hey. And I want Tim Walz on me. 'Cause I'm a frickin' homie. G. I love Tim Walz. I love Tim Walz. I love Tim Walz. I love Tim Walz.
About this protester who was
dude.
had a lawful right to have a firearm and the ammunition. He's saying he shouldn't have taken it, but that's a repudiation of his constitutional rights, isn't it?
I don't think so at all, and I don't view it the same way in that, yeah, you have a right to carry a firearm, but that also comes with responsibilities. I know Tim's rolling his eyes there, but the thing is, what the issue is here is this person injected himself in the situation, and I'm not going to come to a conclusion because I don't know what happened, but he injected himself into a law enforcement situation, and he was armed, and he went there. He didn't go there to protest, my understanding. These people weren't holding up signs saying open borders, mass amnesty. He was injecting himself into a situation.
Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. So we're currently sitting pretty at 7,456 subs. If you guys are absolutely tired of the woke agenda and you guys want to support the channel, simply tap the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow, but we're really just kind of done. Not just kind of. We're completely done with the woke agenda. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and it really does help the channel grow. Thank you so much.
To interfere with ICE doing their job. The legal issue, and you don't just come out and say it's murder if someone dies. The issue is, did this officer have a reasonable belief that his life or the lives of others were in danger of being lost or being seriously injured? And one thing, yeah.
This guy right here, he's like, no, stop, dude. No, I want to hear every argument. The whole reason I'm listening to this is I want to hear all sides of the argument. I want to hear this guy's side of the argument. I want to hear this guy. I like hearing different perspectives. Believe it or not, as much as I can't stand woke people, I'll give somebody the time of day and listen to them, even if I disagree with them, as long as they're at least being somewhat respectable.
Hang on a second, Tim. It's important from the officer's perspective and what's reasonable, and they are in this high-pressure situation. And the fact that the gun was removed, that's a factor, but it's not the only factor because you don't know in these situations, does he have another gun or something else to make someone safe? So the questions you want to ask are,
did any of your agents ever fire 10 bullets into an American citizen? Did that ever happen when you were acting director? Did they ever fire 10 bullets into an American citizen?
I feel like the fact that they fired so many times at the guy, I'm still not a fan of that. I'm still not a fan that they fired on him at all. I think that Alex Pretti. Look, I still believe that Alex Pretti was murdered, without a doubt. I really do. I think he was murdered, man. Tim Smith is saying, some Americans weigh 300 pounds. You need to fire 10 times. Oh, God. Damn it. I do want to thank George Zimmerman, too, for sending us $2 super chat earlier. And I want to thank Major General Tao for the $5 super chat as well. Really appreciate it, my brony bros. Let's keep watching.
Tim, if you could
did that ever happen?
A little bit.
Did you ever do that?
Look, I can answer the question if you want. If you're, are you performing, or can I just answer?
No, I'm asking. It's a fair question. Did that ever happen? You were the acting director. Did any of your agents ever kill American citizens?
Don't speak over each other.
Pierce, are we here to talk about this, or is it just
don't talk over? Yeah, I agree.
What is this?
Let's not talk over each other. So I think the question Tim is asking is a reasonable one.
I know the emasculated males are up in arms, Tim, but come on.
All right, but
you're saying
Jonathan,
the problem is that I would say the person. Excuse me.
This guy is. Here's the thing: the guy that keeps interrupting, the guy that has the little earbuds in, and he's super effeminate. This guy sucks, dude. This guy sucks balls, man. Tim Smith says Tim Walz versus Tim Pool versus Tim Smith, 1997 level ECW threat, triple threat match. No holds barred. Chairs are legal. Winner takes all. That's fucking tight, dude. Oh, man. I love it, dude. I love it.
I would say the person that was
please don't talk over each other. Guys.
He just called me an emasculated male.
I would
say
please don't talk over.
I mean, not going to lie. This guy is kind of... This dude sounds like a woke pussy.
Laugh out loud.
Alex Pretti was confirmed to be in the Signal leak.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me because some of the videos I've seen of Alex Pretti previously, I mean, there were some other videos where he kicked a taillight off of one of the ICE agents' vehicles. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Give a shout out to @GeorgeZimmerman2. Thank you again for the super chat, my brony. So, yeah, what George Zimmerman, too, is saying, Alex Pretti was confirmed to be a part in the Signal chat. So he is his involvement with the Signal chat, I guess, was confirmed, allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because I don't really know the legalities of that, but allegedly Alex Pretti was in the Signal chat, is what he was saying. You guys got to stop calling me a bootlicker, man. Why is everybody calling me a bootlicker? Stop it. I am not. I repeat, I am not a bootlicker. I love Trump. I'm pro ICE. Tap the subscribe button if you agree with me, dog.
Each other. Guys, no one can hear you when you talk over each other.
Okay.
Jonathan,
I'm trying to answer the question that Tim, you want to perform.
Please
I'm
let
happy
me
to answer the question.
Please let me conduct this panel. Thank you. The point Tim was making to you, Jonathan, was in all your time as ICE director, acting ICE director, did you ever have an incident like this where an ICE official put 10 bullets, or two of them did, put 10 bullets into an American citizen?
I can tell you, I know a lot about police shootings. I was a federal prosecutor 17 years. I've defended police and police shootings. And the way they are trained, and Brandon will confirm this, you fire until the threat is no longer a threat, and then you reevaluate. So the fact that there are 10 bullets, you don't just say, you know, we've heard Joe Biden, remember, you shoot in the leg or whatever. You don't do that, and that's not the way they're trained. So if the issue is the number of bullets, then the question is maybe they should be trained differently, but they are trained to eliminate the threat. Yeah. The question is still, I agree, an open question. Was this a threat that should have used deadly force? And that needs to be investigated. But the number of bullets is really not a dispositive factor. And I know everyone wants to make a big deal about it, but that's
he
not
was
the
laying
issue
on the
at hand.
ground.
I want to bring
dead.
in, hang on. I want to bring in Brian, who's been waiting very patiently. Brian, I think I read this week you've just passed.
Yeah, I was going to say this Brian guy hasn't said a single word. I think probably because, everybody's just talking over each other. I get that. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second, you guys. I got to check something here. I'm trying to... Okay, that's a little bit better. What if I not accidentally, see if that would be better. Hold on. I'm doing a quick CTA, real quick call to action on this. Maybe that makes it worse. Hold on. No, that doesn't make it any better. We'll just do, I think, counting. We'll go with this CTA. That feels a little bit better. It feels a little more organic. Okay, my brones. Let's keep going. Hold on. I appreciate all. By the way, I want to thank everybody for sending a super chat. Super chats help the channel grow in a lot of ways. So, just you guys being so supportive and doing the super chats, also subscribing to the channel. I mean, if you guys can, we're currently sitting at 7,459 subscribers. The simple act of you subscribing helps us get to our goal of 10,000, or at least one step closer to our goal of 10,000. So the simple act of tapping subscribe really matters, man. Hold on, my brother sent me an Instagram thingy. Hold on. What the hell am I watching? Oh God.
I'd rather spend Christmas with Epstein. I hope you don't mean that. You'd feel pretty sad if you spent Christmas with Epstein. No, I wouldn't. Did you get away from SCP Wish I Knew?
Yeah.
Did I pack the gloves for gloving?
No. I did.
No, that's not it.
What else could we be forgetting?
Kevin! Excuse me, where's Jeffrey Epstein?
Down the hall.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
Thanks. I don't want to spend Christmas.
Okay, let's go, dude. All right, so we're currently sitting pretty at 7,400 Pretti. We're currently sitting Pretti at 7,459 subscribers. Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, please. The more subscribers we get, the better. But yeah, that was hilarious, though.
You've just passed 5 million subscribers to your channel, is that right?
I did, yeah.
Congratulations. Amazing.
Thanks.
He did it through the patience.
Yeah. No, it's great to have you on, and congrats on that. It's a big milestone. So, Brian,
this man is a soy boy, a little bit. He's a bit soy, but I'll admit, I got to give him props for his patience on this one.
you've been waiting very patiently. It's been interesting to watch the big rain back. You've watched Kristi Noem basically chucking Stephen Miller under a bus. Stephen Miller is the guy that actually tweeted about this guy being a potential assassin. It was him that fired up that narrative that he was a potential assassin, which was clearly completely ridiculous. Whatever your take on what we've all watched on these video clips, the idea that somehow he was planning to assassinate all those ICE officers is plainly absurd and offensive.
Granted, I love Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller's the man, but, Here's the thing. Alex Pretti was not an assassin. I do believe that I believe Alex Pretti was an agitator. I believe he was a rioter. But at the same time, I do believe he was murdered unjustly. Two things can be true. By the way, two things can be true. Alex Pretti was murdered unjustly. And I think that the officer who shot him deserves to go to jail for life. I'm gonna make that very clear. And the thing I noticed with all this is I think ICE, I seriously think ICE just needs to have stun weapons at this point. There is no reason for ICE to have anything other than stun weaponry. I mean that. I'm serious. No, Alex Pretti was definitely a rioter. There was a video of him kicking off a taillight from an ICE truck. I don't know if it's real or not. It could have been AI generated. I don't know yet.
What are we seeing here? Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and...
Ooh, an all-natural supplement. Now, I'm assuming that Piers Morgan is trying to sell a boner pill. Okay, it's a weight management pill. Never mind. But who knows? It could also double. I don't know if it doubles as a boner pill or not. But Piers Morgan, here's the thing, dude. If you're not trying to sell me a boner pill, I am not interested. I am only interested in natural male enhancement or unnatural male enhancement. We'll see.
Americans are already taking them with incredible results. Optimum Day boosts your energy and supports weight loss throughout the day. Optimum Night helps you relax and get deep, refreshing sleep. They have countless success stories, including from some very familiar faces. England legend Michael Owen, who lost 40 pounds. AFTV's Robbie, who lost more than 100 pounds. To watch their full stories and many more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit oxfordnatural.com/peers. And here's the best part. Use the code PEERS and get 70%
I just want boner pills, dude.
Your first order.
Piers, just give me a boner pill. I need a boner pill to fix my erectile dysfunction, bro. Let's keep watching.
Get 70% off with the code PEERS.
Do you guys think I should buy Piers Morgan's weight loss supplement? Do you guys think I should buy this weight loss supplement that my man is promoting? Will it be worth it in the end? Or will it not be? That is the question. I do not know. I'm Chris Hansen.
From Stephen Miller, from Greg Bovino, Kristi Noem, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, the same thing, frankly, that we're seeing on these panels.
Give me one moment. If I'm going to listen to this soy boy complain, I need more candy. Thank you guys for waiting patiently. I need my sweet tarts, okay? A daddy needs his sweet tarts, all right? Yum yum. Soy boys. Everybody is a soy boy. We live in soy boy nation. Come on. Give me candy. Let's go. You're a pink brony bro. And you dance at the gay club. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, yum yum. Let's go.
On this panel right here, which is this level of gaslighting and kind of narrative setting that frankly nobody believes. I mean, this idea for the former ICE director, my co-panelist over here, that Alex Pretti, this VA nurse who was brandishing a cell phone, was somehow a threat that even after he had 6 full-grown men, like these grown-ass men on top of him, that he needed to be that the threat had to be eliminated by unloading his clip into him. I mean, you can say this and you can feel justified, and we'll have Officer Tatum over here back you up, because there's nothing that Trump or any of these secret police or the Trump administration can do that will garner any pushback. But that right there is the perfect testament to why nobody believes what's happening here. It's because even these ardent right-wingers in this country, and certainly the vast, vast, vast majority of independents, I'm talking 3/4 of independents in this country, are listening to this gaslighting and recognizing that it's not just a lie they're being told, it's utter contempt that's being displayed by these Trump administration officials for the American people. Say again?
Well, I would say, Brian, as well.
What did I say that was gaslighting?
Thought
that this idea that Alex Pretti posed some threat where the
no, Alex Pretti. Okay, look. If you look at the video, and if you only look at the video where he's getting pushed back by the ICE officer, it was pretty stinking clear what happened. It was very clear, if anything, what happened. We all know that Alex Pretti was no saint. In fact, Alex Pretti was not a saint. If anything, allegedly he was a part of the Signal chat. So he was tracking ICE and agitating the officers well before all this, allegedly. And it's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty darn obvious that while Alex Pretti did not deserve to get shot, I believe Pretti was murdered. Absolutely. I believe the ICE agent who shot him deserves to go to jail in this instance. But it doesn't mean that ICE as a whole is incorrect. I think abolishing ICE is lazy, and of course leftists want to abolish ICE. All they want to do is tear things down. They don't want to build anything up. Here's the thing. The simple solution is give ICE heavy stun weaponry. That should suffice. And it should suffice for ICE, okay? Crazy.
I said that's the question to be resolved.
And it's not going to be resolved, because the reality is DHS is not going to investigate any of this. DHS isn't going to investigate anything Pretty's going to do. Just like DHS is not going to investigate Jonathan Ross, because DHS doesn't investigate any of this stuff. So if the excuse is always going to be If the excuse is always going to be, oh, don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this in some full investigation,
then
there's not going to be a full investigation.
Should he be charged
so we just
with
have to
murder
listen to the
because he upsets
gaslighting being
you?
fed to us by Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Kristi Noem.
Policy? Can we talk about use of force
Okay,
policy?
I want to mention at this stage.
Convicted of murder?
Hang on. I want to mention at this stage. Look, I want to bring in the incident with Ilhan Omar because it's kind of connected to this. So
the situation with Ilhan Omar, I do have a lot of doubt on it. I feel like a lot of it, I do agree with some of the internet in that there's a high I think there's a probability it was kind of staged. Yeah, that's what I think. But let's keep going. Let's keep watching. I don't really trust Ilhan Omar. I think she's, as you leftists like to say, deplorable.
Ilhan Omar was doing a town hall in Minneapolis. She was attacking ICE, and then a guy comes out of the audience, who's sitting down, and sprays her with a strong-smelling liquid from a syringe. Now, that is a potentially extremely dangerous incident. No one knows what that could have been. It turned out to be, we believe, harmless. He is wrestled away. But had it not been harmless, had it been acid or something else, then maybe she could have been very seriously hurt or dead. Now, Brandon, what has concerned me about this is that from Donald Trump, and I think you have intimated this too, there's an immediate position.
No, it definitely felt fake. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Ilhan Omar situation was staged, or do you think it was real? Actually, you know what? I kind of want to get a poll going on this one. Do you guys think I should put a poll on this one? Nah, we're not going to put a poll. Just let me know. By the way, let me know in the chat. Do you think it was staged, or do you think it was real? Do you think what happened to Ilhan Omar was real, or do you think it was staged? I want to know, chat. What do you guys think? Staged or real?
By people on the MAGA right, that because you don't like Ilhan Omar, that she somehow has staged this, it's not real, it didn't happen the way people think it did, this guy was a plant, and so on. And again, it comes back to what I sense is a complete eradication of basic humanity. There ought to be parameters between left and right where we can just agree when something like that happens.
So you guys, so Mr. Garza, you have the same last name I do. Why do you think it was real? And to those, by the way, to those of you who think it was staged, why do you think it was staged? And to those of you who think it was real, why do you think it was real? I want to know, why do you think it was staged, or why do you think it was real? I'm just curious what the chat thinks. I want to know what the chat thinks. I am curious.
We all say this is terrible and shouldn't be happening.
Pierce, there's no jump to conclusion. I don't care about none of these people. They don't pay my bills. I don't have to say anything about Ilhan Omar. I don't really care about her. But the bottom line, and Donald Trump don't pay my bills either. But the bottom line is that I'm looking at this impartially. I don't know what anybody said. I saw the video, and it does not look consistent with someone trying to assault another person, which means I have never in my life seen a person get up, spray something out of syringe at someone's chest. It happened to be nothing, inert, and then she comes after him. You didn't see her back away from him. You didn't see her shy away from him. You didn't see any of that
Brandon,
nature.
You would
and
say,
the guy didn't even resist.
Brandon, you would say, Brandon,
Brandon. Staged, no charges filed, only held on suspicion.
George Zimmerman 2 is, I'm going to repeat that real quick. So George Zimmerman 2 is saying, let me take a look at the super chat real quick. So George Zimmerman 2 is saying staged, no charges filed, only held on suspicion. Okay. Now, for that situation, I'm a little curious about one thing. So wait, they didn't even file any charges against him? So he's only being held on suspicion. That is interesting. Maybe that was part of the agreement that if you do this, you'll be held on suspicion and you won't actually get pressed any charges for rushing a stage, right? It's so funny. I think that it's so bad because if that is staged, that's pretty sad. I will say if that is staged, that is very, very sad. He was booked on suspicion of third-degree assault. Oh. Yeah, I have my doubts about a lot of this stuff, man. I don't know. Here's the thing. On the internet, I don't know what is real anymore and what isn't. Because there's all sorts of shit being flung everywhere on the internet. Like I said, you never know, what the hell is real and what the hell isn't these days. And by the way, if you guys can, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. If you guys love Officer Tatum, tap the subscribe button. If you can't stand these woke beta males right here, the woke beta male here and the woke beta male here, if you have fatigue, mainly this guy's awful. This guy might be the worst guest that Piers Morgan has on frequently. This guy sucks. All right. If you guys think that this dude sucks, tap the subscribe button. If you think that Piers Morgan needs to grow a pair, tap the subscribe button. Let's go. Please subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel grow. We're really trying to see how far we can get on the YouTubes, and we're really growing at a rapid scale to the point where it's like our growth on YouTube is really, really rapid. I love it. Thank you guys for getting us to where we need to go. Everybody's been incredible for subscribing. We just had a massive influx of subscribers coming in. So I want to thank everybody who subscribed. I'm going to show on the screen some of the subscribers who subscribed today, and I want to really thank them for being subscribers to the channel. I'm just going to give shout-outs real quick. Thank you. We're going to show them up on the screen here while we continue to react. These are some of the people who subscribed today. We had a lot of subscribers today, lots and lots of subscriber growth. And I want to thank everybody for doing this, man. You guys are amazing. You guys really are amazing. You guys have made the channel better. You guys have helped the channel grow.
Laugh out loud.
Laugh out loud.
Brandon, you would say the complete opposite if that was a Republican congressman.
That's not true.
Brandon, is the guy going to jail just for fun?
That's not true.
Is the guy going to jail just for fun? Is that part of the show? I just want to hear a little bit more about this theory.
Listen,
Please, just 1 second.
Oh, by the way, there's nothing wrong with assuming that it's staged. Officer Tatum,
out loud.
By the way, Officer Tatum is in the right because obviously Ilhan Omar has a bit of a history. Let's just say Ilhan Omar has a bit of a history based on what we know about everything that's been going on in Minnesota.
Laugh out loud.
All right. So we know that we can't really trust her at all at this point. At least that's the instinct that most people have is you really can't trust her, it feels like.
Laugh out loud.
Yeah, I don't trust her at all. Hell no. Anyway, let's keep watching the show.
I want to hear more about this theory. That guy.
I'm giving you the elements.
Is he going to jail for show? He's going to jail.
I'm giving you
Laugh out loud.
elements of why this looks strange to me.
Okay, so why do you think he's going to jail? Is it for show? Is he like Antifa? Is this part of like some? Is this the lizard people?
Listen, was there anything in the syringe? It was inert.
Laugh
there
out
was
loud.
nothing poisonous. There was no pepper spray. There was nothing in the syringe to
I'm
start
asking
with.
you why you think he's going to jail for this.
He sprays her with the syringe in the chest. She goes after him. If you're afraid of somebody spraying you with a chemical agent, you're not going to pursue them. He resisted not one bit. He goes to the ground. She says.
So you don't believe it, do you, Brandon?
Yeah, it's kind of honestly after watching the video with Ilhan Omar and the guy that supposedly sprayed her with some sort of unknown substance, it definitely felt like some theater kid. It felt like theater kids trying to reenact that sort of situation. That's what it felt like. No, chances are, by the way,
Laugh out loud.
A vinegar smell. But yeah, no, honestly, with everything that Ilhan Omar has done, I don't trust her. So I think it's kind of a boy who cried wolf situation. We just don't trust people who consistently, compulsively lie. I don't trust Tim Walz. I don't trust Jacob Frey, and I definitely don't trust Ilhan Omar. So, by the way, if you guys can, please subscribe to the channel. We're really growing at a rapid pace. And just the simple act of subscribing really goes a long way. And so if you guys do subscribe, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all your efforts in keeping the channel going.
You don't believe it?
I don't think that this was. I think this was staged. I don't know if it was true or not.
Can I ask a question here? Can I ask a question? Okay. What if Alex Pretti had sprayed a liquid onto this ICE officer? Would you have, Brandon? Would you have said that there was no threat at all?
Aggravated. It'd be aggravated assault.
And you would have supported executing him.
No,
and just like you would have supported.
No, that wouldn't have been justification. That wouldn't have been justification for the ICE agent to react. But
I can't stand this guy. This guy is this guy right here. Every time I watch Piers Morgan and this guy is on, I just can't help but cringe. The guy that has the headphones in, who's acting like a total chud, this soy boy. I'm gonna hover my mouse over him. This soy boy right here. This guy's a woke. This is a woke crazy person. This is what woke looks like. This is what woke is. This is a woke Karen in the wild.
But merely holding a phone, is justification to react.
Who said that it's justified for somebody to spray something? We're talking about a specific incident where a man had a gun. They had a reason to believe that he was armed and dangerous.
He had a gun in his holster. He was holding a phone.
This guy sucks. Dude, Officer Tatum is making his point in good faith. These guys right here, these two leftists, these two soy boys, they're just making a mockery out of somebody who's trying to get to the truth. And Officer Tatum is being serious. He's like, dude. And these guys are disrespectful. This is why I don't respect the left, is because they're just absolutely disrespectful, and everything they do is in bad faith. I don't like the left. It's because of soy boys like this guy, this guy right here, this woke guy right here, and this woke guy right here. It's guys like these who make me want to vote for J.D. Vance. The reason I voted for Trump is because of him and because of him. I voted for Trump because the left is insane, and I can't be a part of the insanity of the left. I'm voting for Vance in 2028 because I want Vance. I want Vance in 2028. Let's go, dude.
He was holding a gun.
Can we talk about masculinity for a second, Piers? I'd like to talk about masculinity for a second.
I would too.
Have a gun on him?
I would too.
Did he not have a gun on? Have you ever done law enforcement? Any one of you emasculated men on a thing? Have you ever done law enforcement?
You know, Brandon, I can field this one for you. I'm happy to take this. Thank you for that.
Why are they emasculated?
Have you ever had to use force and make a split-second decision?
Apparently, Piers, we're emasculated because we're not bootlickers for ICE agents who want to kill somebody.
God, this is terrible. Look at I can't stand it when they constantly say bootlicker. By the way, you're not a bootlicker, all right? You're not a bootlicker if you like ICE. That doesn't. If I like ICE, I am pro ICE. That doesn't make me a bootlicker. Okay, so you guys gotta just stop calling me a bootlicker, man. I'm so sick of you guys calling me a bootlicker. It's so stupid. It's immature. So stop calling me a bootlicker. Okay, can we just agree to stop calling me a bootlicker? All right. It's all I'm asking, dude. All I'm asking.
Brandon,
apparently we're emasculated because we're not in support of six guys jumping on and murdering a nurse.
There's a use of force.
You're a real man, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, you're a real man because you can defend six full-grown men unloading a clip into a nurse.
Hang on.
This guy is by the way, this pale white guy with the beard, he does nothing but bad faith arguing. He's nothing but a bad faith arguer. This guy is even worse. This guy is a bad faith arguer as well. Officer Tatum, look, you may not agree with his opinions, but I do believe he does everything in good faith. That's why I love Officer Tatum. I think he's the man.
Hey,
hang on, please. Hang on. We can't hear you when you all talk.
I'm not a bootlicker. I am not a bootlicker. So stop calling me that. I am not a bootlicker. Stop calling me that, okay?
When you all talk at once, nobody hears any of you. Tim.
Yeah. So I have a couple of things on this question of whether I've been an officer. This appeal to authority. I haven't, but you know who has? The chief of police of Minneapolis.
No.
The chief of police of Minneapolis. Excuse me, Brandon. Let me finish talking. The chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference.
Man who shot Pretti.
Brandon, let him talk.
Well, actually, that's a good point. We actually don't know the man who shot Pretti because the federal government is hiding him, so we don't know who killed their own citizens yet.
Isn't he?
But we know that the chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference after the shooting of Pretti, where he talked about how the judgment was irresponsible.
Wait, are you guys talking about butt licking now? Are you guys talking about butt licking in my chat? Stop it. Okay. I want you guys to stop talking about boot licking and butt licking. No, stop. And I mean it when I say this. Stop talking about boot licking. Stop talking about butt licking. It's grossing me out, okay? It's grossing me out, bro. Nah, I love, by the way, Joe Garza. By the way, Joe Garza is is probably one of my cousins. So Joe Garza, by the way, because Joe Garza and I have the same last name, probably because we're both Latino, Joe Garza and I are most likely cousins. Just to let everybody know, Joe Garza and Michael Garza are likely cousins. That's what I'm observing right now. And if that's the case, and everybody's calling me a bootlicker, stop calling me a bootlicker. I like Officer Tatum. He's a good dude. You guys are never going to stop, are you? You guys are never going to stop calling me a bootlicker. Is this my channel forever? Is this what it is? Everybody's just going to call me a bootlicker till the end of time? Are you guys going to keep doing this? Are you guys going to call me a butt licker or a bootlicker? What are you calling me, dude? Stop it.
And how his police officers, every single police officer in the entire city of Minneapolis, shot 0 bullets last year. They encountered real criminals. Excuse me, let me finish. They encountered real criminals.
I would not let this guy finish because he sounds like a total Karen. He's like, "Excuse me, let me finish." It's such a pussy.
Criminals, not soy boy protesters. Like,
dude, if I was Officer Tatum, I would just disrespect all these soy boys. And Piers Morgan, come on, man. Get these soy boys in line.
They encountered actual criminals. They encountered murderers,
not
rapists,
in use of force scenarios.
Assault. Yeah, they did. They encountered those people. They were armed. How many? They disarmed 1,000. According to the chief of police of Minneapolis, they disarmed.
By the way, if you guys look, if you guys are pro-Trump like I am, tap the subscribe button. If you are pro-ICE, if you're pro-ICE, tap the subscribe button. Help the channel grow if you can, because we are tired of being told what to do by woke people. Woke people don't make the world better. In fact, it could be argued that woke people make things worse. The wokes make everything a joke. Everything woke people touches turns to crap. So if you guys have woke fatigue, make sure that you tap the subscribe button, and please subscribe to the channel as soon as you can. The more subscribers we have, the better. So tap that button, man. Tap that button. Yeah, tap it hard, man.
They disarmed 1,000 people last year without firing a single bullet. These morons fired 10 bullets. And this whole thing about this definition of masculinity. Okay, it's like the tough guys are the 6 mass goons pushing down a woman, pushing down a protester, and then getting scared. Oh, they saw a gun, and I got so scared.
By the way, the people in Minnesota are not protesters. They are what I like to call rioters. They are not protesters in Minnesota. Correction. They are rioters in Minnesota. Let's keep going.
I gotta shoot my bullet. Boom, 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 10 times. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I gotta shoot my bullet. Those are the masculine men? No, I'm sorry. The masculine guy was the guy standing up for the woman, doing what men should do, standing up for the woman that got pushed down, and then in exchange for his bravery, a bunch of pussies
shot him dead and unloaded 6 bullets into his dead body while he was laying on the ground. That's what happened. Those are the emasculated men. And I wish we had more men like Alex Pretti, but unfortunately he's dead.
Okay, let me bring in. All right, let me bring. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't want a beta male like this guy to tell me what masculine is. Now, Officer Tatum's pretty cool, but betas like this dude telling me what masculine is, shut the hell up, dude. Beta.
You never arrested anybody. You never carry a gun. You probably don't have a gun on you now. Quit acting like you bought If you in a scenario,
think it's cool to just shoot people
do you have a gun on you
all the time? I'm concerned about your weapon, to be honest. I'm a little concerned about your weapon based on your judgment and how big of a wuss you are.
I was a police officer.
Brandon,
how many people did you kill?
Brandon,
how many people you kill?
If I may, Brandon, you don't have to be packing a gun to be a real man. I don't have a gun. Nor do most people in my country.
Said that. The wussy said that. I'm saying that in order for you to judge a man who's making a life or death decision,
who's that?
In order for you to judge another man who's making a life and death situation, it would behoove of you or have any wisdom to be in a situation like that. I've been in a situation where I had to choose whether or not I had to shoot a person or not based on use of force policy and the threat of bodily injury or death.
Did you do it?
You have never done that. So it is weird for you to try to judge a person who's in that split-second decision when you don't even carry a gun. So how about you go on a ride along and do some training?
It's pretty easy to judge,
and maybe you'll have a better perspective.
It's pretty easy to judge, actually. The guy was laying on the ground. He was a corpse. And the guy shot him from a distance. Boom, 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 6 times. It's pretty easy to judge whether it was a threat. And you can obviously tell that guy panicked. He shit his pants.
Let me bring in Jonathan. Let me bring in Jonathan. Let me bring in Jonathan. Look, there's a lot of movement going on.
This is a very interesting argument. Look, I can't agree with this guy, this woke guy. The woke guy pisses me off, so it's very tough for me to agree with the wokey. I like Officer Tatum, but at the same time, I can't fully agree with Officer Tatum on this one. I mean, technically, Alex Pretti was surrounded by like 6 dudes. Alex Pretti was on the ground. At that point, he wasn't much of a threat to anybody because he had already been disarmed. His gun had already been taken off of him. So he was already on the ground. He was no longer a threat. That's the point. So while I see what Officer Tatum is saying, that in those split-second decisions, it's either life or death. I get it. Especially if you do think that your life is in danger, you have to act. I totally get that. I totally get that.
Here, Bavino's been sent packing from Minneapolis. Kristi Noem's been effectively gagged. A lot of heat on Miller and others for putting them up to the rhetoric. They all seem to suggest it all come from Stephen Miller. Trump clearly aware that this is not working politically, but ICE remain doing what they're doing in other parts of America.
No, I really do think that ICE needs to remain in Minnesota wholeheartedly. I don't see any reason to remove ICE at this point. I think ICE definitely needs to stay. But yeah, there's every reason to keep ICE in Minnesota, for sure. Yeah, definitely keep them there. I 100% agree. You guys can call me a bootlicker if you want. I don't really care. We're just taking a break real quick. Hold on. Okay, let's try that one. Give me just a moment, though, you guys.
They're deporting a reasonably large number of people, although interestingly, less actually in the first year than Biden did in his last year, for example. So there are some interesting parallels here. It's not apples and oranges because Biden was letting a lot more people in. But in terms of actual deportations, it's not overly successful so far, but it is attracting, I would argue, an overly negative context now for the administration. If you were running ICE now, what would you be recommending to Donald Trump about how they should conduct themselves going forward?
Local tax experts are here. Now.
Well, I sort of disagree a little bit with your premise in terms of how it's been successful. I think about 1.9 or over 2 million people have taken the self-deportation option, which is removing, in which the government gives them $1,000, and now they've raised that to $2,600. And so you put that on.
Oh, wow. There's actually a self-deporting option. That's hilarious. So basically, you get paid to get deported. Interesting. And that's a good incentive because I think we've incentivized too many people to come from other crap hole countries and basically take all the free stuff that we offer. And I think we need to stop incentivizing. I think we need to stop incentivizing people to come over here to get free crap. I think that becomes that becomes a little ridiculous at a certain point. And, I can't condone that, man. I can't condone it. But yeah, no, I think that, I think what Trump is doing is that he's on the right path, man. He's on the right path. Yeah, give me a moment. Actually. All right, everybody, let's hit to 10K. Hold on, let's do something a little bit different here. Let's try one more factor here.
On top of the 600,000 that have been removed and then nobody else coming in. It's been enormously successful. And how do you measure success? Well, we have the lowest murder rate since 1900 in this country. That crime rates are down about 20% nationwide. So our country is objectively safer. We know that. We know people aren't coming in droves anymore. And so you have to look at the big...
Which, by the way, that's a good thing. We don't want... And this is one of the things that I argue. I think it's good that we're not letting in people at will. I think the problem here in America is we've allowed too many people in. At a certain point, you have to just say no and you have to turn them around, Don't turn around. All right, but yeah, no, I mean, like, overall, there's definitely a woke syndrome in the world today, and sometimes people are woke. What can I say?
Big picture. We also know things like wages are going up, because when you look at illegal immigration, and you know from your country, it's not just something that has no cost to the citizens. It's enormously costly. Illegal immigration makes Americans poorer, less healthy, less safe, less educated, and that's not really even arguable. It costs $150 billion a year. And what's interesting, just in tax dollars, and not to mention all the other costs, and what's really interesting about this is everyone knows at this point Biden and Mayorkas are bringing people in deliberately because they want them to be voters and they want them to help in the census. There's really no serious argument against that. It's very interesting that the Democrats' response to everything is always stop the deportations. They never say, hey, let's think of a good way to get rid of the illegal aliens. They'll never say that. So it really is a tell where they're coming from. But as far as what I think a good messaging should be going forward is focus on the criminals for the deportations, meaning for the arrest outside of the jail. Focus on the sanctuary cities, because, you know, one of the issues with Minneapolis is a sanctuary cities where they would rather turn over a child molester back into the community than turn them over to ICE. And by the way, Tim Walz wrote an op-ed lying about this the other day in the Wall Street Journal. So you have to wonder, is he even acting in good faith on this? But
I think everything that everything Tim Walz does is in bad faith, in my opinion. I think that Tim Walz is kind of the things I want to say about Tim Walz. Oh man, all the things that I want to say about Tim Walz. He's one of the worst governors of all time. George Zimmerman too is saying, imagine talking about the right side of history when you call Houthi pirates and Hamas marginalized groups. Yeah, Hamas is terrible and the Houthi pirates were terrible too. Absolutely, George Zimmerman. I 100% agree. Some of these woke people have zero idea on anything that's happening in the world. They just get angry and they get agitated. They hear buzzwords. And they see headlines. And a lot of it has to do with Trump derangement syndrome. They hate Trump so much that anything that's bad about Trump in the mainstream media, which, by the way, the mainstream media intentionally lies to you. The mainstream, I really don't trust the mainstream media. I just don't. I don't trust Fox News. I don't trust CNN. I don't trust MSNBC. I think most people don't. I think most people with a functional brain don't even bother watching those mediums for their news. I think most people with a functional brain are done with it.
I think emphasize the criminals, emphasize the benefits from not having illegal aliens in the country, and also remember, deportations and border security are intertwined, because the reason people were coming under Biden was because they knew the second they set.
By the way, I want to thank everybody who subscribed. If you guys love the fact that we're pro-Trump on this channel, please subscribe. If you guys love the fact that we're pro-JD Vance in 2028, please subscribe. If you love the fact that we're pro-ICE on this channel, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow, and it really helps us really put our footprint into the YouTube algorithm. So please subscribe to the channel if you can. It really does help us grow in a lot of ways. It's just awesome, and I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you.
Foot on American soil, they were all, for all intents and purposes, a citizen of this country. So you cannot have those policies, or people will continue to come in. These all work together. But deport the criminals. Say who you're deporting, why, incentivize self-deportation, and talk about the benefit.
Okay, Donovan. Okay, yes, thank you for subscribing, Donovan. Where do I get my news? I get all my news from the Babylon Bee. I get all of my news from the Babylon Bee.
Of not having illegal immigrants, as you know, in your country, it's a big problem.
I get it. Let me bring Brian back in. I want to play a clip of Jimmy Kimmel last night.
And to the people of Minneapolis.
Oh, God, Jimmy Kimmel. God, Jimmy freaking Kimmel. Every time I see Jimmy Kimmel cry,
laugh out loud.
All I can think of is just like, Like, my eyes cannot roll back further into my head every time I see Jimmy Kimmel cry his crocodile tears, his fake ass tears, dude. And we all know that Jimmy Kimmel's faking, right? Jimmy Kimmel is faking. And by the way, I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. We just got 3 more subscribers. In fact, I want to thank Funny Lady.
Laugh out loud.
Thank you. I'm going to put Funny Lady back up on the screen. Funny Lady subscribed just a little bit ago. Thank you so much. I appreciate the subscribe. And if anybody can, and anybody out there listening to this, subscribing to the channel really helps a lot. It helps the show in so many ways. But yeah, let's keep going.
The Pretti family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbor.
God, he is. I often wonder if he believes his own shit. Like, look, Jimmy, I am sad that Alex Pretti died. Believe it or not, I am sad. When I saw that happen, I was just like, whoa. That guy was murdered in cold blood. The dude was murdered in cold blood. I absolutely agree with that. It sucks.
We want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
Now, Brian, apart from the fact that Jimmy Kimmel really needs to stop crying, I just wanted to say that as a...
Yeah, I am tired of seeing Jimmy Kimmel constantly cry in his opening monologues. I just feel like it's so fake. I just don't... I mean, maybe it's real. It just feels fake to me, you know?
The general blanket observation that barely a week goes by when he's not blubbing like a baby about something. I'm not saying he doesn't care. I'm just saying that it's getting a bit weary for me. But also, I don't remember him crying when Barack Obama was president. There's a clip doing the rounds today of Obama talking in really tough language about his own deportation record.
Oh, yeah, and Obama was definitely the deporter-in-chief. Barack Obama loved deporting people just as much as Donald Trump did. And you can argue that Obama might be the greatest deporter of all time. He was great at deporting people. And he has more of a track record at deporting people, it looks like, than Trump. So I'm really confused why Democrats supported Obama back in the day with his immigration policies, but they don't support Trump with his immigration policies. Because, honestly, in all reality, Obama was worse than Trump with the whole deportation thing. If you want to see who the real enemy is, it was the guy that you had worshipped, Barack Obama, all these years, to all you leftists out there. So, crazy.
And why it was so important. He deported over 3 million people. No liberal friends of mine gave a damn or knew how many people he was deporting. He was putting kids in cages.
Yeah, I think it's because the news wasn't really talking about it. I think that needs to be taken into account. I don't think the news was really talking about it as much back in the day about Obama being the deporter-in-chief. If you guys can, though, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. The subscriber count is just growing rapidly, and I can't believe it, man. We're currently at 7,465 subscribers. I can't believe it, man. So if you guys tap the subscribe button, it does help the channel grow. Our goal is to reveal how crazy the left is, how crazy the left has become. So the more subscribers we get, the more we can reveal to more people. It pushes us out on the algorithm, basically. The more subscribers we have and the more likes we get. So the more subs we get, it allows us to reveal the woke agenda to the world. And I'm very proud to do this.
ages, separating them from their families, all the stuff that people chuck at Trump. But it was never an issue throughout those 8 years. He was the biggest deporter of people in the history of the United States in terms of pro rata per year as a president. So there's been a massive double standard there. And I can't help but think that one of the reasons is the liberal skewed media, which it is. I've worked in it. You could shoot a harpoon around the old CNN newsroom when I was there and not hit a conservative voter. That they just didn't care because it was their guy. And what happens this time, because everyone hates Trump on the left and the media collectively hate Trump. So they fire everything up. Then it becomes a huge thing. Then you have people going out in the streets and protesting because they've been whipped up by the media. Then you have these altercations with ICE. Then you have deadly altercations. And we're in the position we're now in. I'm not saying they're to blame, but I'm saying that part of what we're seeing here is something that never happened in the Obama years about this kind of issue of deporting illegal immigrants, because nobody cared.
Yeah.
And my question for you is, all right, we can have Jimmy Kimmel blubbing on TV about it because he cares so much. Why didn't he care the same way when Obama was doing this?
And there's a double standard. Here's the thing. It's okay when a Democrat does it, but it's wrong when a Republican does it. So when Donald Trump does something, it's wrong. When a Democrat does something, it's right. It doesn't really matter what it is. Everything Obama did, by the way, all the woke Democrats back in the day were fawning over him. They were glazing his meat practically. They were practically glazing Obama's meat back in the day about every single thing he did. And it was a level of glazing that was just like, oh, come on, you guys. You guys going to end the glazing at some point? Give me a break. So if you compare Obama to Trump, I mean, it's just crazy that nobody seems to care that Obama was doing the exact same thing. So how come you guys aren't pissed that Obama, I'm surprised you guys love Obama still, because he was just as much of a deporter as Donald Trump. So can I just ask, what's up with the double standard? What is up with the double standard?
And did you care and did you speak out about Obama's deportation record, or do you accept that Obama pretty much shared Trump's view, which is actually, if you're in the country illegally...
I mean, it's true. Obama actually did share Trump's view. If you're in the country illegally, you need to get the F out. That was absolutely a policy that Obama had, without a doubt.
Then you should probably be deported, because there are millions of people trying to become legally immigrants to the United States, and there are hundreds of millions who've come to the country over the last century who did it the right way.
Look, I can't speak to what my thoughts were during the Obama administration. I was in college, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to politics. But I would say in general, look, I am in favor of immigration. I think it's better for the economy. I'm
going to say that I'm not. I think that, look, I don't mind immigration in general, but I do believe in capped immigration. And what I mean is, you can't just let everybody in. You can't just let everybody in. There has to be a hard cap, a yearly cap. You can't just let in millions upon millions upon millions. Because what happens is, if you start allowing people to come through freely, other countries are going to be like, oh man, we could get rid of these criminals and basically just hand them over to the U.S. and they can live in the U.S. So what happens is, we get all of these other countries' criminals because we're the free loving, everybody come in. No. We need a hard cap. I think we need a hard cap on immigration. Period. End of story. Hard cap. We can have immigration, but there's got to be a quantitative limit.
Also recognize that immigrants, if we've heard
Straight
so much
up.
about crime,
Illegal?
immigrants commit crime at lower rates than native-born Americans. So this isn't about stopping crime, because if this was about stopping crime, our law enforcement agencies would focus on the people who are actually committing it, certainly committing it at higher numbers.
Hey, thank you guys for subscribing, by the way. We're currently sitting pretty at 7,465 subscribers. Once again, 7,465 subscribers. I really appreciate it. If you guys can, tap the subscribe button to help the channel grow. I really appreciate it, because we're trying to reveal the rot of the Democrat Party. We're trying to reveal. We want to reveal the truth, and we want to show you guys that, honestly, Tim Walz needs to resign. If you guys believe that Tim Walz needs to resign, tap that subscribe button, because I think we're all low-key done with Tim Walz.
Numbers, but they won't, because this is not about crime. That's just some flimsy pretext that people use to be able to justify this.
They're not always able to find people who are illegally in this country that commit crimes. When they have a crime committal stat, it's because they've been able to find the person and prosecute the person to some degree. People that are illegally in this country have no identity. They commit crimes with with complete impunity. So
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. This idea that they have an identity.
Wait a minute.
Do you think illegal and legal immigration are the same?
Look, of course they're not the same. Of course they're not the same. But the reality is that
do you accept both, or do you believe in one or the other?
But they all get treated the same.
That is such a bullshit response. They all get treated the same. What a...
Well,
this guy's an idiot. This guy's a moron. This guy right here, that's like, they all get treated the same. No, they don't, dude. No, they don't. In fact, the irony is this. They have more diversity in ICE. Racial diversity, than the entire Democrat Party has. Because most of the Democrats consist of crazy white liberal Karens, whereas ICE actually has, like, people of all sorts of races.
You don't know what they're the same.
If I could just say really quick 2 things on this point. Number one, right now they're deporting actually people that came the right way. They're reporting people that came here as asylees or refugees, and they're sending them back, even though they've been going through the legal process. Excuse me, can I just finish?
Seekers?
They are asylum seekers. They came across the border. Illegally, they showed up to a port of entry and they volunteered. They've been going to their checkups with ICE, waiting for their court date, and they're deporting those people. So excuse me, just really quick. So those aren't illegal immigrants that are being deported. They're people that have done the right thing. They're being deported. And lastly, can you just let me say one other thing?
Other than those people.
Can I say one other thing?
The other 20 million.
I just want to say one other thing before you respond. When you talk about illegal immigrant crime, I do have one pretty easy stat to point to. So far this year in Minnesota,
this guy is such a wuss. Every time, I swear to God, every time I see this guy talk, he is such a wuss. I can't. I'm trying to. Like every time I hear this guy speak, I just want to shut off. I just want to change the channel, basically.
Illegal immigrants have killed 0 people. The ICE agents have killed 2. So 2 American citizens have been killed by ICE, 0 by illegal immigrants. So that's the current crime status in Minnesota.
Kick out ICE and bring in illegal immigrants. Okay.
Well, kick out the murderers, I would say.
Here's the thing. ICE is definitely needed. We need ICE to enforce our immigration laws. So abolishing ICE is a hard no. There is no reason to abolish ICE. What ICE needs is reformed. I think that ICE agents should not have deadly weapons. They should not have lethal weapons of any kind. I firmly believe that. And yeah, heavy stun weapons. I believe that ICE agents should absolutely have stun weapons without a doubt. They deserve the stun weapons at the bare minimum, right? But at the same time, we need ICE. And tap subscribe. If you guys can, tap the subscribe button if you think we need ICE. And, yeah.
I actually want to kick out the murderers. No, wait. I want to kick out the murderers. The illegal immigrant murderers, get the hell out. The guy that killed Laken Riley, get the hell out. By the way, the guy that killed Alex Pretti, you get the fuck to prison as well. How about that? We get rid of all the killers.
If he's unjustified in his use of force,
God, you're manning up there.
These guys are just... This guy right here, this woke guy, is just a total sleaze bag, total nut bag. I mean, I can't even with this guy. This guy's crazy, dude. This guy's out of his damn mind. Out of his mind.
Let me ask Brandon. Let me ask Brandon.
What Jacob Fry is, look at what
Hold on, I'm gonna get a glass. I'm gonna get a glass of water real quick, if you guys can. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. So if you guys agree that we need ICE, we need more ICE agents in Minnesota, tap the subscribe button. Tap that subscribe button, man. Let's go. If you're pro ICE, tap the subscribe button, baby. You're too sexy, beautiful. Everybody wants to taste. That's why I still get jealous. You're too sexy, beautiful, and everybody wants to taste. That's why I still get jealous.
Hang on, Jonathan.
Minneapolis.
If I can say one thing.
Hang on, please.
There was a
Minnesota.
Hang on, please, guys. Let me
Look
try
at
and
the
moderate the
objective
panel,
criteria,
please.
not the hysterics.
Let me moderate the panel.
I gave you a stat.
Brandon, do you think there's a lot of hypocrisy given that Obama deported 3 million people and was very strong in his rhetoric, as indeed Bill and Hillary Clinton were? The clips are everywhere, right? They all basically agreed about the problem.
I'm for that, Piers. This is the question about hypocrisy. It's a question about killing American citizens.
I literally
Deporting
lost
is fine.
my
Deporting
mind
criminals is fine.
when I went back and listened to what Barack Obama said. What Barack Obama said about not coming to America, you would go to the back of the line. You didn't do it the right way. We're gonna catch you and we're gonna kick you out of our country. Everybody.
Could you imagine if Trump said that? Could you imagine if Trump said those words? If Trump said those words that Obama said, Trump would have got eviscerated by the media. Eviscerated. And this is what people don't realize, is that the way that the media treats Trump versus the way that the media has treated past presidents is completely unfair and hilariously biased. And I feel like the media hates Trump so much that they can't see the forest from the trees. They can't even see their own hypocrisy, right? So it's pretty clear, right? The level of hypocrisy that exists within the woke left. I think you all see what I'm getting at, right?
Should be in lockstep with that. If you came here legally, we love you.
But they are coming here legally. Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy, who was wearing a 5-year-old boy who was wearing a Spider-Man backpack, a bunny hat. His father was here through the asylum his father was here legally. He was going through the process. So there's all.
Well, hold on. If you're going through the process, but you're still technically not a citizen. Just because you're going through the process of becoming a citizen doesn't mean that you are one. Okay? The United States at any time can change their mind through that process. If they decide that that person doesn't deserve to be an immigrant here in the U.S., then they don't deserve to. Just because you're going through the process, if you haven't finished the process yet, if you have not finished the process, you're not an immigrant. You have to finish the process straight up, okay? End of story.
Always an excuse. You'll always complain.
Well,
he was here. He was going through the process.
So they could identify the illegal
guys, don't talk at once, please.
Let him talk.
He was the exact Liam Ramos's father, the 5-year-old child.
Then why not help
stop talking for a second?
the illegal aliens?
All right, go. Shut up.
A 5-year-old boy.
Right,
a 5-year-old boy was
let
used
Brian
as
finish.
bait.
Brian, make your point about the 5-year-old boy. Then Brandon, you respond.
Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy wearing a bunny hat and a Spider-Man backpack, used as bait to get his father to come outside. He was here legally, going through the legal process, the exact thing that, Brandon, you're claiming you wanted to see, and yet...
By the way, going through the process is different than finishing the process. If he is here, he should be doing the process on the other side of the gate. He should not be in America trying to become an immigrant. If you haven't finished the process of becoming an immigrant and you're here illegally, you're here illegally.
He's now in the process of deportation, so the goalpost will always move. You'll claim that this is all about wanting people to go through the proper process, but then you've got people who are going through the proper process, and yet ICE still creates deportation porn out of their processes and tries to get them out of the country anyway.
Okay. Are you
Okay,
done?
Brandon.
Okay. I want people to be very clear about this. You can come through the country without going through a port of entry. You're illegally in this country. You can come through a port of entry and your asylum claim gets denied, and you're also illegal in this country. So two things can be true at the same time. They did not use a 5-year-old to lure this guy. They already had an arrest warrant for him. He got arrested. He fled from them, leaving his child.
He did flee the child. He fled from exactly. So the father fled from the child because he was afraid he was going to get arrested by ICE. So he literally left the 5-year-old unattended. So, yeah, Officer Tatum is spot on this one, man. Let's see. Oh, Ty Lord, what up, dude? So Ty Lord is in the chat. Ty Lord is saying the media and Democrats don't seem to remember Trump was once Democrat. So if he ran as one, they wouldn't be saying shit about anything on him. Change my mind. Honestly, yeah, here's the thing. Because Trump identifies as a Republican and identifies with conservative values now in his older age, which honestly, the older you get, you tend to end up being a little more conservative anyway. Yeah, I think that it's possible, yeah. Ty Lord, you make some good points, brother. My biological stepson, Brony. My brony bro, dude. You're a pink brony bro.
Behind. They had to take the child into some type of custody for his safety. The family refused to take the kid into the house. They refused to take the kid back from the facility. So ICE had no choice but to have this kid in a safe environment because his dad did not care enough about him to take care of him. You guys are using a 5-year-old for your immigration porn. It is not true that they lured that man. Listen, why can't we all on this panel say, legal immigration is good? If you come here illegally, you have broken the law and you have to be deported. Why are we against deportation of illegal immigrants? The two people in the middle make sense.
No,
Y'all don't have a solution to it.
What are you
Pierce,
talking
I'd like
about,
to get in here real quick
you don't
on the
let me
asylum
talk,
issue.
but I'm for it. I'm for deport. Start
why
with
are
the
you
worst
mad
of the
at what
worst.
ICE is
Then why
If
not?
people
Why
are
not
here, legal
encourage
deport them.
Minnesota to cooperate with ICE?
Because
Why not have
ICE
them
isn't
cooperate
going
with ICE on the
after
criminals?
illegal immigrants. How hard do I have to say this? I agree with. Could I finish? I can answer
so
your
they
question
are
if you
trying to
want.
leave the illegals in and deport the legal ones. Well, why not have Minnesota give up the illegal immigrants that are in their jails? Why aren't you in favor of that? Or maybe you are in favor of that. I don't know.
They're doing that.
Huh?
The Minnesota Department of Corrections
They are
is
not
working
doing it.
with
That is
they
a
are.
sleight of hand. That is not That is factually untrue. You can spaz out or do whatever you do, but that's not true. The jails are not turning people over, and that's the vast majority of people arrested. The prison system is, and that's the sleight of hand that Tim Walz is using there. But the jails are not, and that's factually true, and they would even admit it. Tim Walz
is deliberately...
And here's the thing, man. I think that these two dudes, the woke guys, the two wokies, the Wokonians, right? These woke guys, they say they're for deportation if it's of illegal immigrants, but honestly, I think that they just don't really care. I think they're like these guys have proven. These two woke guys have proven. By my metric, they seem to be very, very pro illegal immigration. They seem to be okay with it. And a lot of them have, and I feel like there's party loyalty on all sides of the aisle. I feel like these two woke guys right here are too loyal to the Democrat Party. I do feel like Officer Tatum is a little too loyal to the mega talking points, but he does make Officer Tatum makes better points than these two guys combined. These two woke guys right here, these guys suck at making a good point. Somebody's using caps lock in the chat. That's hilarious. Hey, have a good night, Mr. Ty Lord. Love you, brother. You the man, bro. You're the man now, dog. You're the man now, dog. Yeah. I can't do the Sean Connery voice right now, but it goes something like this. You're the man now, dog. Or you're the man now. You're the dog man now. You're the dog man now.
And you can spaz out and do your little shtick.
I'm just trying to reply.
But I think the other issue...
They told you America...
Go ahead and reply, Tim.
Look, I'm with you. Criminal aliens should be handed over to federal.
If you guys can, though, tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. We recently just hit 7,466 subs. Once again, we recently just hit 7,466 subscribers, and I really appreciate everybody who's taken the time to subscribe. But yeah, make sure you tap the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. We're almost to 7,500 subscribers. Once again, we are so close to 7,500 on the subscriber count. So I want to thank everybody for making this a possible thing in my life. And I want to make a great, fun show. I want to be able to do this full time. One of my main dreams is to do this full time, react to videos, talk to you guys as much as possible. Have a great time, man.
ICE agents or federal CBP. I'm with you on that.
George Zimmerman, I completely agree with you there.
Could you let me finish? And if you have a critique,
I agree with you, George Zimmerman. Thank you, bro.
Hennepin County and Minneapolis is handling that is a fair critique, and that is fine. And we could talk about that policy and what the right policy is. I'm also
Hey, Beeve83, can you please stop? I mean, you could type in all caps if you want to, but the Beeve83, I'm not going to acknowledge anything you're saying if you're just going to type like an a-hole in all caps. Stop typing in all caps. Nobody takes you seriously when you type in all caps.
So for deporting people that came here illegally. What ICE is doing in Minneapolis is far beyond that remit. They are going after people that have asylum claims.
But yeah, guys, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. Please subscribe today. It helps the channel grow. We're a pro-Trump channel. We're a pro-ICE channel. We're pro-Trump. We're pro-ICE. And I hope you subscribe to the channel. It really does help us grow. We're trying to spread the word of... we're trying to warn people about the woke agenda. We want to warn the world about the woke agenda. That's what we want to do, man.
that have not been adjudicated. They're going after protesters. They're going after American citizens. They've jailed American citizens. They're going into neighborhoods. They're bullying people. They're pushing people, and they're murdering people. So if your issue is let's deal with Hennepin County prisons and figure out how to work better with them, then you don't need to murder American citizens to achieve that goal. And so we can agree on that. I wish you could agree that the American citizens should be shot dead in the streets.
More issues.
Let me bring in Brandon because I want to bring in just an update from Polymarket about Kristi Noem. It's quite interesting. We're following the prediction markets on this subject of who will be the first to leave Trump's cabinet. Almost uniquely, he's a year in and hasn't fired anyone from his cabinet yet. Polymarket has a $1.5 million market open, a lot of activity. As we speak, Kristi Noem is at 39% to be that first member.
Oh, well, they're thinking that Kristi Noem will be the first to actually get cut. So we got, let's see, Kristi Noem is at 38.6%. Pam Bondi is at 20.8%, and then none before 2027, 10.3%, and then Pete Hegseth is at 5%. Interesting. Yeah, poly markets. I look, prediction markets are kind of the only people who are really making prediction markets go. It's basically gamblers. I mean, basically, it's put your money down, and you're basically competing against other gamblers. It's essentially what a prediction market is. It's a gambler. It's gamblers versus gamblers. Is what it essentially is. And I think that's a fair thing to admit. I think it's a fair thing to admit more than anything. Gambler versus gambler, dude. That's all it is at the end of the day. Man, gold is going up like crazy. I love it, dude. I love it when gold and silver go up on a bull run, dude. I get so sprung. P silver. Crazy. Will silver drop? I mean, silver looks like it's going on a bull run like crazy too. So I think we're going to see silver go on a bit of a wild bull run from what I can see. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I really do. Like I said, I love swing trading silver and gold and stuff like that. Very, very fun. I get a kick out of it.
Of Trump's cabinet to be fired. She was just at 13% before the 2 deaths in Minneapolis. I mean, Brandon, do you think she's on the way out? Is she going to be the first casualty of Trump's cabinet?
I don't know. I think Trump is very loyal to the people that are in his cabinet right now. That's why he hasn't fired anybody so far. But I do think that she's becoming incredibly unpopular on the Republican side. Now, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. I don't pay attention to what she's saying. I don't care unless people are getting arrested and they're doing their job. But I do believe if she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, if she's doing things illegitimately and is not working on behalf of the country, get her sorry self out of there. And I believe that with anybody that's in the cabinet. I don't owe no loyalty to none of y'all. If you don't do your job, you need to get fired. And so if there's a fair evaluation of Kristi Noem and what she's doing and not doing, and if she's not doing what's right for the American people, and she's committing fraudulent behavior, fire her. I think we all understand it. Can I give you the Border Patrol response real quick? Law enforcement and Border Patrol connection, because I worked in law enforcement in Tucson, which is a border state, and we work well with Border Patrol and ICE. And there's a big difference when you arrest somebody and they are illegally in this country. Now, local law enforcement do not have jurisdiction to arrest them for their federal crimes, but we do take them to the jail and we put them on what we call an ICE hold. Therefore, they cannot leave the jail facility even when they're done serving for their city crime or their state crime. The ICE agents will come and verify them and take them. That keeps the community way safer because ICE does not have to go into the community. When you force ICE to go into the community and then you have idiots harassing them, doxing them, throwing stuff at them, blocking.
I mean, Officer Tatum's making some good points here. If local police, when they arrest these illegal immigrants, these people who are immigrating here illegally for whatever crimes they commit, they should remain in the jail facilities until they get deported back. So that's one of the things. So allegedly, Minnesota harbors quite a few illegal immigrants, from what we could tell, and it makes perfect sense to. It honestly makes a lot of sense to send them in. So yeah, but because Minnesota's been irresponsible and hasn't kept these illegal immigrants in jail, ICE is forced to actually go on the streets and get these people off the streets, get these illegal immigrants off the streets, basically. Because Tim Walz and company are not keeping them in the jail after they have served their sentence. Because if they're here illegally, even after they serve their sentence, they should still remain in jail because they're here illegally. Period. End of story. But that's just my opinion on this. It's just my unhumble opinion overall. That's what I think. But everybody's got their own opinion on this. But hey, you guys, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button. Though the more subscribers we get, the better. We're really trying to grow on this channel, and we're seeing what we could do, man. Give me just another second, though. But yeah, no. If you guys are pro ICE and pro Trump, tap the subscribe button. If you guys are sick of the woke agenda, tap the subscribe button. We really need you. We need you. We want you. We feel you. We love you. Let's rock it.
In their vehicles, you create an unduly risk. This is why ICE is patrolled, or even Border Patrol, in their assistance with ICE around the entire country, and you don't see people getting shot, and hardly anywhere else. You would say 99.9% of the shootings
Zero
are
is
in
the
Minnesota.
goal.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
You do see people getting harassed in other places, actually, not just Minnesota.
Because this is
Minnesota's just the only place they've murdered.
Here's the thing, though. Most of the harassment, by the way, doesn't come from the ICE agents. It comes from the citizens. The citizens harass ICE because they have been told by the liberal media that ICE is the Gestapo. So yeah, they do. The ICE agents get harassed first, and then the ICE agents get agitated by the agitators, and they respond in kind. So a lot of the times, ICE is in the right, and the citizens are in the wrong. Just saying.
Anyone so far? But they've harassed people. They jailed citizens in California. They shot people in Chicago.
Listen, give me the murder numbers. Give me the people who have been murdered by ICE, and then you tell me where they were murdered
this year.
There
have been 2 people murdered by ICE in Minneapolis so far. And then
one city.
Renee Good and Alex Pretti. And then they shot a guy in Chicago, a gal in
Border
Chicago.
Patrol agent. No, Renee hit an ICE agent with her car.
She did hit the ICE agent with her car. She absolutely did.
Got shot. This guy came and confronted and physically assaulted and had physical contact with a firearm.
I can't do any more of this apology of
you don't
fellow
have
killers.
To do anything.
You can
let's
do whatever you want, man, but do not smear dead people.
If this guy goes to jail for shooting Pretti, let's do a
shameful.
poly-market.
What you're doing is shameful. You should be ashamed
you
of yourself.
You don't understand the law. Don't get mad at me.
I actually think it's.
I'm not mad. You're just. You should repent.
You don't understand
the law. You should find the Lord.
I think what Brandon is doing. I think what Brandon is doing is actually. I think what Brandon is doing is actually pretty instructive, because the reality is that everybody saw the video. Like 85.
I hate the fact that these guys right here are being demeaning to Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum is honestly debating you fuckheads in good faith. Officer Tatum is debating these idiots in good faith. These guys are not debating Officer Tatum in good faith. They're being total a-holes. And I love Officer Tatum. I think he's a fantabulous dude. Yeah, it's just blowing my mind, man. Blowing my mind how terribly Officer Tatum is being treated by these whack jobs.
5% of Americans.
Let's keep watching.
More Americans saw this video. Brendan,
so what
Brendan,
you're seeing
just chill
is
out
not
for a
according
second.
to what they're going to be judged by.
Control yourself. Brendan, try to control yourself.
Try to control yourself. What? Hey, how about this? This guy, the entire time, this woke asshole with the headphones in, this guy has not controlled himself at all. He's been rude and frickin' terrible the entire time. Officer Tatum has been nothing but respectable to you woke losers. I wouldn't be. I'll tell you what, I would probably, if I saw this man-child right here react to me the way he was reacting, like I would react to this man-child right here in kind. I'd be a total asshole to this guy. Officer Tatum is really showing real restraint because this guy's acted like a total chud the entire interview. This guy right here, I can't stand this dude. And this is one of the reasons why I can't watch Piers Morgan is because of chuds like this, dude. Chuds like that, bro. Chuds.
How about you listen?
Try to control yourself. Try. Just try like 2 seconds to not talk.
Give me the law. Give me the law that he's going to be prosecuted under.
Brendan, 2 seconds, man.
Give me the law he's going to be prosecuted
under. This isn't a good testament for how law enforcement officials are able to control themselves. 2 seconds.
No, and it's not a good testament how.
That's so ridiculous, dude. This guy is a bad faith arguer right here, and this is why I don't trust leftists because they're bad faith arguers. Like Officer Tatum has been actually pretty kind. And the one person who couldn't control himself is the woke asshole that's basically next to Piers Morgan on the panel. Yeah. What do I think about Charlie Kirk's death? I love Charlie Kirk. I'm a huge Charlie Kirk fan, and I can't wait to, I'm going to be going to the Turning Point USA event that's here in my local town. I'm very stoked about it. Very excited about it. And yeah, no, I'm 100% on board with Charlie Kirk. I'm a huge Turning Point USA fan, and yeah.
The reality is the vast majority of Americans,
like you
Brandon,
don't know the law.
Brandon, just shut up for like 2 seconds.
Where's the law?
The vast majority of Americans saw this video. We know what we saw with our own eyes. Even conservatives, even independents know that what ICE was doing was completely unjustified. That he was holding his cell phone and was bombarded by 6 grown-ass men who shot him dead. And the fact that you're standing up here, Brandon, just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. The fact that you can sit up here and claim
you talking tough ain't gonna work with me, buddy. Give me the law.
What are you going to do? Shoot him 10 times? Shoot him in the back of the head?
This whole time.
Okay, see, this guy has been also I can't believe this guy can't acknowledge this. Like, this guy needs to acknowledge that this guy's actually being a total chud, by the way. These guys are both chuds. This guy's a chud, and this guy's a chud. They're both woke pussies, all right? They're woke wussies.
You're cosplaying as a tough guy while you bootleg for 6 grown-ass men who jumped on a nurse and shot.
And quit saying bootlicking, man. I'm sick and tired of the word bootlicking. Just because you're pro-ICE, I am pro-ICE, by the way. Just because I am pro-ICE existing and doing their thing doesn't mean I'm a bootlicker, okay? I want to make that very, very clear. Does not mean I'm a bootlicker, all right?
Him dead. This is not the tough position. You are defending being a bootlicker is not a tough position, my dude. Being a bootlicker for a bunch of grown-ass men who killed a nurse who was helping a woman is not a tough position that you think it is.
Gentlemen.
No, I'm when I say pro ICE, that means I am on the side of ICE. I think that ICE is totally fine. Without a doubt. 100%, man.
That law,
gentlemen,
where is he going to be charged?
Can I just say, gentlemen, I had hip surgery a week ago, and can I just say it flared up at the start of this debate. It's carried on flaring ever since. And the only thing I can put it down to is that you lot have shouted at each other now for 45 minutes without drawing breath, and I owe it to my new hip to call an end to proceedings. But thank you all very much.
Thanks, Pierce.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go Piers Morgan, dude.
Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent. The only boss around here is me. If you enjoy our show, we ask for only one simple thing. Hit subscribe on YouTube.
Please subscribe. Yeah, please subscribe to Piers Morgan Uncensored. He's a pretty cool dude. Once again, please subscribe to Piers Morgan Uncensored if you can. Also, please subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. And we're trying to see what we could do. We're trying to reach a wide audience and a wider audience to see how far we can get our message of whatever whatever the message of the show is. Most of my messaging is I prefer to talk about investing more than politics, if we're going to be honest. I'm really more of an investing kind of guy, so I talk about investing instead of politics primarily is what I like to do. Lately, unfortunately, the channel has turned into a politics reaction channel where we react to political videos and some of the news that's happening, and that's just the unfortunate way this channel has gone. Now, it's not going to be like that forever. I want to make sure it's very clear. My channel's not always going to be political and stuff. It's just not the way the channel is really meant to be. But yeah, we're trying to cool down the whole politics thing. I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really much of a political guy. The only reason I talk about this stupid garbage is because, well, honestly, it gets the viewers, it gets the clicks, it gets the views, and that's just the honest truth behind it. But I do have my own opinions, obviously. I mean, when it comes to the world of politics, obviously I got my own views and opinions, and they can change, obviously. But I'm not married to politics, you know what I mean? I think there are just some people out there that are just so heavily married to the world of politics, and I think that's bad for you. The only reason I'm even reacting to this shit is because, honestly, it is kind of fun to react to it in real time and see what the commenters say. But yeah, Golden Boy is pretty good, man. Golden Boy is a great anime. Thank you, I'm Sinful Jr. I appreciate you, brother. To everybody who hasn't subscribed, though, please tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. If you're pro-Trump, if you're pro-JD Vance, tap the subscribe button. You know, we're trying to grow on YouTube at a massive scale, and we're really doing it, man. We're surprisingly growing at a rapid pace. So I do want to thank you guys once again. I'm actually not just a little bit tired. I'm like super duper tired right now. So I am going to go to bed. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I definitely plan on doing a show probably early in the morning, some sort of morning show. And, but yeah, I'm also going to be going to the Turning Point USA event. That is going to be very interesting, by the way. I'm curious to see how that turns out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of leftist thugs going there, and I hope that the people. Sorry, when I say the protests, I love Turning Point USA. By the way, oh, Nate Dogg says, "Can we get a Kentaro emoji?" You know what? Honestly, I can't draw for shit, but I know ChatGPT might be able to draw some sort of Kentaro away. Kentaro away. I'm Kentaro away. I'm 23 years old. I love that so much. A black bra. Oh, shit. Yeah, Kentaro away emoji. I'm going to have to write that down because I know I'm going to forget it later on. Hold on. Normally, hold on. Let me write that down. Oh, my pen's in my pocket. I got a pen in my pocket. Oh, nope, that's my cock. No, that's my pen. I got a pen. Kentaro, because I'm going to forget. I really, if I don't write this down, I will forget. So, Kentaro away emoji from Golden Boy for all the bronies. Kentaro away. But yeah, so tomorrow, actually today, later on today, now that it's midnight, it's technically the today that I was going to do tomorrow. But yeah, so what we're going to do is, but I think I might have ChatGPT make a Kentaro away emoji for the chat for you guys, for the members to use. That way you guys can appreciate the new emojis. But yeah, so one of the big things I was going to say, so the Turning Point USA event is going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The doors open up at 6, and my buddy TJ got me a ticket to it. So I am kind of excited to go to the Turning Point USA event. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of I was a huge fan of Charlie Kirk, and I feel kind of like I really wish I would have got to see him while he was alive, obviously. But I think it'll be really cool to be able to see Charlie do his thing. I think. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm so tired that my bad. When I say Charlie do his thing, I'm talking about the Turning Point USA crew do their thing. Because and they're kind of they're a Christian organization and everything, and even though I'm not like super religious, I am somebody who respects people's religion quite a bit, and I love the fact. Yes, there is going to be a protest outside, unfortunately, and I do plan before I go to the event. I was probably going to do an hour and a half stream before I go to the event. I'm going to probably hang out with the protesters. So the plan is to hang out with the protesters, and I don't know if it's going to be a good idea. I was thinking I might just pretend to be woke. I'm going to try to be my version of a woke person. And I'm gonna rap about my love of Tim Walz and my love of Joe Biden. I think that's probably going to be the extent of what I end up doing down there at the event, at the protest at least. And then, of course, once it hits around 6:45 or 7, I'll probably end up just heading inside to the event. Now, I got to check my ticket, though. Because my buddy sent me, my buddy TJ sent me like an e-ticket. So, and you guys know me, I'm an old man. I'm an old man who requires Viagra, and sometimes I don't know how these newfangled e-tickets work. It's a little confusing to me sometimes. These damn newfangled e-tickets, my God. It's gonna be fun. Let's see here. Okay, so TJ sent. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. So it's the Turning Point. So it's the Turning Point American Values Tour, which is kind of dope. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So so I do have my ticket. I've got a golden ticket. I've got a golden ticket. Okay, man, there we go. I got the golden ticket. Yeah, so I think there's going to be there's going to be a protest, and I'll probably live stream the protest. So what I plan on doing, since the show doesn't start till 7, I may just hang out in the protest area, because I have a feeling, because the protest starts at 6, I have a feeling that there's probably going to be people who get there a little bit earlier than 6. So I may end up hanging out in that little area where everybody's going to be protesting. And I'll probably just end up being a counter protester. Obviously, I'm going to be a counter protester, because, you know, here's the thing. I want these people to protest if they feel it's really necessary. But at the same time, I also, as a counter protester, just want to call them gay. That's all. Like, I don't ever try to shut people up even if I disagree with them, but I will say this. I am going to act like a woke person. I'm going to try to act like a woke person. It's going to be hilarious. And you guys know me. I'm all about performative art. I'm really a performative art kind of guy. And while people may not agree with my methods, I do enjoy ruffling up the feathers a little bit because it is kind of funny. And look, believe it or not, even though I'm going to be making fun of these protesters, I am also, I believe it or not, I respect them. I actually do respect them. I do want to mock them though. And I think that you can respect the protesters but mock the group. I think who I'm really mocking at the end of the day is not really the individual, but I'm mocking the group. And I think when you mock the group, I think it's a fairer thing to do to some degree. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to single anybody out. I really don't. I don't want to single an individual out. I want to really just kind of, I want to send my message to the overall group, mainly. So that's kind of the goal there. Is kind of is mainly to let the group know. Let's see. Nate Dogg and his things and shit. Nate Dogg says, I pay Garza for the green name. Someday he'll return the favor in back rent. Okay, you guys. So my porn I call him my porn landlord because now my landlord is in the chat. My landlord, Nate Dogg. He's not even my landlord. He's not my landlord. But yet he's constantly demanding rent from me. And I don't understand. Now, don't get me wrong. He does own the refrigerator that you see behind me. He does own that refrigerator. Mainly because I borrowed the refrigerator and I never really gave it back. So, that happens. And so, when you borrow something and you don't give it back, I mean, it's kind of like squatter law. It's squatter law. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm telling you guys, I'm not a squatter. I swear I'm not a squatter, okay? Besides, how can Nathan be my landlord when I've been squatting on his property this entire time? Okay? How can Nathan technically be my landlord when I am a squatter on his property? Squatter rights. Squatter rights, okay? Squatter. I'm a squatter. I'm a squatter. I'm a squatter. Oh, I'm a squatter. Fuck you, Nathan. I'm not paying rent. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. I'm not paying the rent, dude. I'm not paying the rent, bro. I don't know what you heard about me, but you can't get rent money out of me. Squatter law. Squatter law. We are off. Hold on. You know what? Hold on. You just inspired me. Zelda CDI Squadala. There we go. Oh my God. Squadala. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Zelda CDI cutscenes, but it's just the memes.
Are you guys here?
Okay, I'm very excited about this, by the way. Squadala. I'm jacking off. Squadala. We're jacking off. Oh my God.
Sure is boring around here.
My boy.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to. Only Link can defeat Ganon. Great, I'll grab my stuff. How about a kiss for luck?
You've got to be kidding.
Lamp oil, rope, bombs. You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough.
By the way, this is the greatest game. One of the greatest games that you'll probably never play in your lifetime, just to let everybody know. Zelda CDI. My boy. This piece is what all true warriors strive for. Squadala, we are off. Oh my god. I really want to see the Squadala guy so bad. Squadala, we are off. Let's go.
Rubies. Sorry, Link. I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
Oh my goodness!
The graphics were so tight back in the day. Too poor for premium. Dude, by the way, even if I was a millionaire, let's just say, even if I was a millionaire, I refuse. I do not want YouTube Premium. I do not. I did not hit it. I did not.
Lucky shot. Golly.
Go and kill.
At last, you have the vision to find my house.
Now you must die. Join me,
You must die.
Link, and I will make your face the greatest in Corridor.
E.T. is wondering, yo, Garza, did you see the new video? What new... E.T., I have zero clue. What new video? What new video are you talking about, brother? I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if more chaos was happening in Minnesota behind the scenes. It really would not shock me in any way, shape, or form at this point.
Or else
No way.
you will die.
Die.
No, not into the pit. It burns.
It burns. Okay, by the way, the not into the pit, it burns thing that you just heard, by the way, that's how it felt when I put Bengay on my balls. Nathan and I, back in the day when we were young, dumb, and full of cum, when we were young, we put Bengay on our balls as a challenge, and it was hilariously stupid, by the way, but also at the same time very, very funny. I still look back at that as like, damn, like I will never, ever, ever put Bengay on my balls again. Fuck that, dude. Never again. Never again. Come.
The birds are singing. Isn't it beautiful? Golly, I guess that's worth a kiss, huh? Ha! I won!
I think Link needs to kiss the Squad-a-Lot guy. I don't think... here's the thing. I don't think Link is actually interested in Zelda in this game. I think that Link wants to make out and finger bang the Squad-a-Lot guy.
I wonder what's for dinner.
Oh boy! I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok! You've killed me!
Good.
You dare bring light to my lair? You must die!
You must die. Dude, to this day, I still have zero fucking clue. Like... even in context, I feel like I still would not know exactly what this game is about. You know? I've watched several of these cutscenes since the dawn of time, since the dawn of my birth. No, but I've watched so many of these cutscenes, and to this day, I still have zero flipping clue what is even happening in this game. God, what a game, dude. What a game. Zelda CD. Oh, Squad-a-Lot tells the king to die.
My boy.
Your Majesty, you must die.
My boy. Dinner.
Oh, man. Okay, so we're gonna react to probably one more video, and I think what we're gonna oh yeah, we tried to watch the playthrough. I forgot about that, and yeah, the game was fucking terrible. We're gonna react to one Billy Mays Orange Glow, and I feel like we need to react to this. Is this the one? Which is the one? Is this the one? Yes. Oh my God, yes.
No.
Hold on.
I'm in run rehab, so here's our host, Phil Swift.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Seal.
No, Phil, it's the Orange Glow floor care system.
Phil Swift here for Flex Tape.
No, it's Orange Glow, you dumbass.
Phil Swift.
God, these are amazing. You know, and this was only, by the way, this particular YouTube poop was only made like a couple years ago. So I feel like they didn't. I feel like the YouTube poops have gotten better over the years. I think back in the day they were poorly edited, but I feel like people took the time nowadays within the last 5 years. Yeah, that playthrough, by the way, Nathan, was of Zelda CDI. Holy flippin' shit.
Here for Flex Pace. Phil Swift.
Does this guy have some sort of brain damage?
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Phil, you're fired. Let's bring in the next guy.
Phil Swift here for.
Now let's get back to our host, Mark Gill.
Hi, Mark Gill here, but I'm stopping there.
I'm stopping there.
You can't stop there. It's a 30-minute commercial.
I'm stopping.
Fine. Fuck this. Get in the next guy.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan.
Next.
Dude, immediately when Anthony Sullivan comes, he's like, next.
Hi, it's Vince.
Fuck no, I'm not that.
Fuck yeah, this is the GOAT, by the way. So Billy Mays was always, in my opinion, the S tier, like the golden god. The golden god of infomercials still belongs to Billy Mays. He was one of one. Crocodile Hunter, one of one. Everybody else is just an imitation of Billy Mays at this point. And everybody else who tries to do the Crocodile Hunter stuff, just an imitation of Steve Irwin at this point. But, you know, I mean, I will say this. A close number 2. Oh, have a good night. Have a good night, Nathan. But a close number 2 has to be Vince, though. Vince is my boy, dude.
This is for the house, the car.
Thank you, Nate Dogg, for the happy poop yum yum. Let's give a shout out to my boy Nathan. Just the mere chat of him saying squatter law, we are off, made me go down the YouTube poop rabbit hole. Of course I'm gonna. Anytime there's a Zelda CDI reference of any kind, you're basically guaranteeing that I'm gonna go down some sort of YouTube poop rabbit hole.
This isn't working.
This is making you cry, making me cry.
We need to get Billy out of detox right now.
You're gonna love my nuts.
Amazing! That's right. Rub your big titties in my face while I smoke some more crack.
This is amazing. This is amazing. This is why I love YouTube poops. This is why I think YouTube poops were one of the greatest things about early YouTube. I mean, early YouTube was filled with magical things, especially this shit. This shit was magical.
This better not be Carla.
No, Billy, it's me.
What do you want?
We need to shoot for a commercial.
Go fuck yourself. I'm busy.
Please, Billy.
No, I'm not doing it. Unless, of course, you pay me $47 million.
47 mil. That's the asking price, dude. If you want Billy Mays to get in your commercial, you got to pay my boy. You got to pay him that Charlie. You got to pay him the Charlie Sheen money, man. You got to pay him that Charlie Sheen level money.
I'll give you $46 million.
Has to be $47 million.
Fine.
And you gotta pay me in advance.
Okay.
Awesome. Be there in 20 minutes. See ya. $47 million. And 20 minutes later, it's Billy time.
It's Billy time. This is great, man.
Smell like crack? Shit. Have you been smoking crack?
Absolutely not.
Good.
I'm ready to go.
Let's get started. The following program is a paid advertisement for the Orange Glow floor care system. Now let's get back to our host, Billy Mays.
God, this is so amazing, dude. The level of skill. AT says top tier comedy. Absolutely, dude. The level of skill, editing, audio editing, video editing. This is S tier. This is S tier level shit, okay?
Hi, Billy Mays here with the...
No, Billy, you need to place in the camera.
Shit.
Let's get back to our host, Billy Mays.
Hi, Billy Mays here for the...
No, your name is Billy Mays.
Shit.
Let's get back to our host, Billy Mays.
Hola, soy Billy Mays. Para...
No, Billy, the commercial is in English. Let's get back to our host, Billy Mays.
This shit.
Billy, we need you to get it right this time.
I guarantee it.
Okay, now let's get back to our host, Billy Mays.
Hi, I'm Billy Mays.
And I'm Anthony Sullivan.
And I skipped my antipsychotics this morning.
That's right, Billy. Nothing has the power of the dual.
Oh, dear God. That's right. Anthony. Oh, my God.
Saw. But I'm
Sully, that is straight. And now Maytag and Whirlpool are putting a dispenser for Cheez-Its right in their new machines.
What?
Now you can make mountains of Cheez-Its and get rid of your toughest stains right in one machine.
Billy, that's not...
It's easier than you think.
Shut up, Anthony.
Until now...
Okay, guys, I realized I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty fucking tired right now. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to bed. I got to fold some laundry anyway, so I'm going to fold up some of my laundry, and then I am going to hit the hay. I am a little bit tired at the moment, so I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this, though, and by the way, make sure that you guys tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one, so the simple act of subscribing, it pushes us up on the algorithm and it makes the channel grow. So just the simple act of subscribing really helps, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys are incredible. All right, you guys. Hey, ET, thank you. Yeah, we're at 7,000. Let me take a look at the subscriber count real quick before I sign off. So we're currently, just to let everybody know, we're currently at 7,000. I can't. We're currently at 7,466 subs. Once again, 7,466 subscribers. I can't believe we got this far. We did it. And we're kicking butt, man. We're kicking butt. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try to get up early tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure we should be able to get to 7,500 at some point tomorrow. Chances are we'll probably get it in the early morning stream. But I do plan on streaming a little bit later before I go to the Turning Point USA event. It's going to be hosted at the Egyptian Theater. I'm very excited. I can't wait to watch the Turning Point event. The tickets were pretty cheap, thank goodness. It's going to be a sold-out crowd. It's going to be pretty wild. But I plan on going to the protests that are happening before the event. And, you know, I'm going to be pretty excited just to, you know, because anytime I live stream any of these crazy protests, anytime I live stream a lot of these crazy protests, people tend to treat me like garbage when I go down there. So, yeah, one of the main things I do is I just, I'm going to be the counter protester, obviously, and I'm just going to be mocking. I'm going to be doing the show. I'm going to be doing the live show amongst the protesters. That'll be the goal. I don't even intend on interviewing any of them just because I don't respect a lot of them, because a lot of them have treated me like shit when I've been down there. But let's see here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, you guys. Just gotta, let's see. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Da da da. But yeah, no, I'm very excited that we got to the 7,466 subscriber mark. It was one of those things that, we really worked hard on the channel to get to where we're at, and it took a bit, for sure. It definitely took a bit of time to get to this point. But like I said, I'm super excited. I get the opportunity to do a show I love to do under my own terms. And yeah, I think this is really, really the key, is being able to have a good time and, just kind of dictate where the show goes. I really have the pure creative freedom to do just about anything I want with this show. And I want to thank everybody who's engaged in the chat. You guys have been incredible. Unreal. But yeah, I am beyond tired right now. I'm like super duper tired. I just want to thank everybody for tapping the subscribe button and becoming, channel members and things like that. You guys have been amazing. But yeah, anyway, sorry, this is a lengthy goodbye. I'm going to be doing some streams tomorrow. I'll see you guys. We'll talk a little bit more about Minnesota. We'll talk a little more about the Minnesota fatigue. And yep. Catch you all on the flip side. Can't wait to see you all at the Turning Point event. It's going to be fun. And don't worry, I'm going to be counter-protesting the protesters. While I will be amongst the protesters, I think I should be fairly safe because if you take one look at me, I kind of look like a woke person. At the end of the day, I kind of do have that woke appearance, so I look kind of non-threatening, I guess. I don't know. But let's keep on rolling, everybody. All right, but I want to thank you guys. Have an incredible rest of the night. Appreciate you all, man.